Hello, welcome in, folks. This is the 466th episode of the Dean Withers Show. For everybody tuning in on this beautiful afternoon, thank you for being here. If this is your first time joining the stream, you're in for a treat because guess what? These streams get a little crazy, you guys. We debate Trump supporters here. We debate people on the right. We try to change their minds, convince them of a little bit more progressive support of more progressive policies. Just because I think that right is wrong and left is right. And I do definitely also think that the Trump administration is destroying this country. And we try to convince people of that on a daily basis. Now, every day before we hop into the debates, we always like to quickly go through the breaking news. You guys got to take a look at this. So this is great. Last night, Belgium knocked the U.S. out of the World Cup. And Belgium came into their match last night with the U.S. in the World Cup with a lot of animosity, because in 2016, Donald Trump called Belgium's capital, Brussels, a quote-unquote shithole. So look at what they did, the players for Belgium's team, in response to winning the World Cup. They mocked Donald Trump. And they did his dance to YMCA publicly on the field, then once again in private in the locker rooms, that was then recorded and put online. Take a look at this. And this is just great. I mean, fantastic. There is not a show, a TV experience, a sports game, or really like anything in modern media that gets quite as many eyes as the World Cup. So they are blasting Trump and mocking him in front of millions and millions and millions and millions of people. So I love it. I saw that earlier today, and I just thought about how great that is. And you could only imagine how Donald Trump is crashing out in response to that. He's probably pissed because we know that he's been personally vested in these World Cup games, calling FIFA to get them to reverse a red card decision against a U.S. player. We are going to try to find the first debate of the day right now for everybody who's tuning in. I've already been looking for the first Trump supporter of the day for the last 15 minutes, and we just haven't been able to find them. Braining, once again, I appreciate you so much for all those little gifts. It looks like the Trump supporters are in hiding today, folks. It looks like the Trump supporters are in hiding today, folks. We definitely have a lot of kids. We definitely have a lot of trolls. Now, I will please and politely ask everybody watching the stream to do your best not to troll. Usually, I extend the live stream beyond 4 hours to account for the amount of trolls that we get at the beginning of the stream. Today, I cannot do that because I am on a very strict timeline. A little bit later in the afternoon here, I got to pack up and go camping with a couple friends, so I have to be off at, a little before 4 p.m. MST sharp. So no extending the live stream beyond 4 hours today, so please do try your very best to respect those rules. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
You bet your sweet blue eyes and blonde hair that I do.
What a really weird way to start the conversation. How old are you?
I'm 22.
What year are you born in?
2003.
Okay, and why do you happen to support the very worst president of your life, Mr. Wannabe Dictator Don?
That's kind of a loaded question.
I want to say it's loaded in the slightest. Me asking you why you support the very worst president of your life that literally wants to be a dictator. No. Nothing loaded about that at all.
I mean, if I answer it and I say, oh, I support him, then I'm agreeing with you.
It's totally a loaded question. That's the point. It's totally a loaded question. Tell us why you support Trump.
I support Trump. I'm not very, I wouldn't say that I'm a Trump supporter in the sense that I am as strongly a Trump supporter as you are strongly against Donald Trump. I'm not going to sit here and know every policy, but the policies that I do kind of have a barely brushed up knowledge of, I do enjoy. I also enjoy his social media presence. He's just funny.
Okay, well, guess what? If you think he's funny, then maybe he should be left to a stand-up comedy club, not the Oval Office. I don't think that you thinking somebody else has a sense of humor would be you arguing that they're qualified for the presidency. But you did start by saying that you agreed with a couple of his policies, such as what?
Well, I wouldn't. It's more so I agree with his stances. I wouldn't say that I know any policies or what they contain, but I agree with his stances.
What stances do you think he holds that you agree with? Let's see.
So I'm pro-life, and I would agree that we should continue to make abortion as limited access as possible.
Including for rape victims? Should they have legal access to abortion?
No.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you need my kidney to live and only my kidney to live, do you think that the government should be able to force me to give it to you against my will?
No.
Okay, well, when you ban abortion for rape victims, that is an instance of the government forcing them to provide their bodily resources to another entity against their will, aka the fetus. So, what's the difference? Why should I never be forced to do that, but we should force rape victims to do that?
Well, does that specifically your logic? Does that only apply to rape victims, or does that apply to all pregnant women?
Well, we're going to start off by applying it to rape victims. So, could you please respond?
Can you restate the question, please?
I mean, I asked you if you needed my bodily resources to live, aka you needed a kidney and I'm the only kidney match. You said that the government should not be able to force me to provide it to you against my will. So, in other words, what you're telling me is that if you needed my bodily resources to live, I shouldn't be forced to give them to you. But if a fetus needs a rape victim's bodily resources to live, they should be forced to give them to the fetus. So, why? Like, what's the difference? Why should I be treated much differently than a rape victim?
So the rape victim is in a scenario where they are solely responsible for the well-being of the fetus, the innocent fetus inside of the womb.
Yeah, it's the same way I'm solely responsible for your continued well-being in life because I hold the key to the kingdom. I hold the kidney that you need in order to sustain life and in order to continue to live. If I refuse to provide you that kidney, you die in the same way if a rape victim were to take an abortion pill that would cut off the supply of the progesterone through the umbilical cord to the fetus, causing the fetus to die. So it looks like both me and the rape victim hold the keys to the kingdom for the life of the fetus and for the life of you. I should be able to revoke access to the things you need to live. Why shouldn't the rape victim?
I see where you're aligning kind of the logic in both of the scenarios. They are very different scenarios, but in the case of where you would need to donate a kidney to somebody, it's similar logic. Like you said, you're providing them a service that's going, or providing them bodily resources that's going to keep them alive, and without them they're going to die. It's the same thing with a fetus, but it's not the same scenario. I mean, when you're giving up a kidney, you're giving up a vital organ. You're not just giving up resources, you are giving away an organ. With a fetus, you are carrying the fetus inside of your womb. You're not.
So are you
giving
saying
up
that the
organs, you're
exhaustive
giving up
costs?
resources.
Are you saying that the exhaustive cost of what you're supplying is higher when you donate a kidney? I would actually argue otherwise. I'd say that it's much easier to donate a kidney than it is to maintain pregnancy for 9 months and give birth to a child that was inseminated in you by a rape. Okay? And like, I would rather, if in 100 scenarios, I would rather donate a singular kidney than be pregnant for 9 months and give birth. I would say that in fact it is much more exhaustive and costly to sustain the life of a fetus for 9 months in your uterus and give birth, experiencing the mental and the physical turmoil onset by that pregnancy, and of course the potential fissures that can occur through and with childbirth, or even the different ways that children can be birthed, such as a C-section, which is a very extensive and thorough surgery that requires 6 of your organs being removed just to get to the baby.
So it's not really about the exhaustive costs. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, definitely it could be argued that the exhaustive costs for a pregnancy is going to outweigh giving away a kidney substantially, because you recover from the kidney transplant fairly quick compared to a pregnancy. But the difference is after a pregnancy, assuming that there is no cesarean section taking place, no vital organs are damaged, no fissures, you are going to be in a much better state of being than if you were to give away a kidney. So
what's the argument for that? You could survive with one kidney?
You can survive with one kidney, but when you look at them side to side, assuming that there was no cesarean section done, there was no like tears or fissures on the mother, you are going to have person A and person B, assuming that they had the same health complications or whatever state of health they were in before. The one person is going to be missing a kidney, the one person is going to not be missing a kidney. And I would say that
instead they're just going to have to be dealing with postpartum depression for the next 7 years of their life, as well as, of course, the obligation that comes along with parenthood, or the trauma that comes along with giving up that child, as well as the trauma that's taken away from pregnancy and childbirth.
Well, that's a case-to-case basis.
And by the way, we could also just sub out the kidney for other bodily resources. Like there's this guy named Max Irby. He needs a stem cell transplant in order to live. His stem cell type is very, very, very rare. So far, his dad has collected 40 million DNA samples from people across the globe, and there's not been a single match. So this means if there's a match, there's probably only one alive. So assuming that the government found out that you were the only match tomorrow, would we argue that it'd be permissible for them to steal your stem cells to keep Max Irby alive? Well, no, we'd argue not. You should have to consent to providing your stem cells to Max Irby, and if you don't consent to that, then you shouldn't be forced to, right? Even though ultimately providing some of your stem cells to Max Irby is not going to leave you missing any essential organs. It's not going to leave you in a position where you are lacking something in which you had before. It's probably going to have very similar long-term outcomes well, I guess it's going to have very similar long-term outcomes to what you just described in the sense of not lacking much. So would you argue that the government should be able to force you to provide your stem cells to Max Irby?
I would say no. It's a very difficult scenario. I would say
Okay, so
more.
even though you're not lacking an organ, so then you can't say, well, the difference between the scenario I gave you about the kidney and a rape victim that's pregnant is, well, the reason why you shouldn't be forced to give your kidney is because after everything is done and said with, you're lacking an organ. Because now even in another scenario that we just conjured up where you wouldn't be lacking an organ, you still don't think that you should be forced to provide those bodily resources. So then what explains why you do think that rape victims should be forced to provide their bodily resources to fetuses?
That's a really good point. I'm gonna have to concede.
Good. I mean, I'm happy. That's what I want you to do. There are 10 of our 50 states where rape victims are forced to maintain pregnancy and give birth to children in this country, regardless if they're 9, undergoing precocious puberty, and the doctor says they're not going to die if they experience this pregnancy, or 54. So, I mean, I want you to make that concession because I want you to be a better person for your country and for society as a whole.
I could see that for sure. Now, I'm willing to go down if you want to move on, but I would also like to get into, do you believe in like abortion in the instance?
Yeah, elective abortion. Listen, I'm down to have a short and sweet little conversation with you about it, but it's just been like every single person recently has been wanting to come up here and talk to me about abortion. So it's just been the same conversation on repeat, like day after day after day after day. The first point that I'll make here is I think the reason why a lot of people want to debate me on abortion is because I think that you implicitly, internally acknowledge that Trump is genuinely indefensible. You can't debate about his economic policy because our economy is destroyed. You can't debate about his foreign policy because he started a new war of choice that's killing people overseas. You can't debate about his character because he's an adjudicated rapist that boasted about barging into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls. You can't argue about his adherence to law and order in the Constitution. The Supreme Court ruled that he violated the Constitution with one of his executive orders, and he's been selectively pardoning people for pay, not to mention he's a 34-count felon himself that pardoned other violent criminals that attempted to kill cops on the steps of the Capitol. You can't argue that you support him because of transparency, because he's having his DOJ intentionally and explicitly block the release of the Epstein files after we the people forced Congress to pass a law legally requiring the release of the Epstein files. So it's like really like the only like conversation with possible substance that I feel like many people on the right has left is abortion. And that's why so many people are coming up on my live stream and debating me on abortion when a year ago we maybe hear about abortion once in a blue moon. Here's what I want to say. Would you argue the reason why you support Trump in consideration to abortion is because you believe that this will ultimately save more innocent, valuable human life?
I could say, yeah, that would be the biggest motivator.
So after Roe v. Wade was overturned, what happened to abortions in America? Did they go up or did they go down?
I'm not completely sure.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, they went up. Before Roe v. Wade was overturned, there were 900,000 abortions that were received in America annually. And in fact, that number had been going down for 30 years straight annually. After Roe v. Wade was overturned, it went up for the first time in 30 years, and now we're at 1.2 million abortions per year.
That's actually pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It kind of follows maybe in that psychological thing where when people aren't allowed to do something, they want to do it more.
Or, I mean, the fact that a lot of red states have tried to compromise with the left by not banning it in its entirety, but rather implementing bans at like 8 weeks, okay? Well, see, the thing is most women don't even know they're pregnant until 8 weeks, but for the select few that might be able to figure out at 6 or 7 weeks, well, then it's like they have 7 days to decide if they want to keep this pregnancy because they know at that 8-week point, then they're never going to be able to turn back the time and, take that pregnancy away away because it's banned in their state. So they just automatically go out and they get that abortion because they're not 100% confident in wanting to keep the pregnancy. And plus, just, Roe v. Wade being overturned and states having the technical ability to implement abortion bans has made a lot of pregnant women and girls very hesitant about the state of their pregnancy because technically their state could ban it tomorrow if they wanted to. So then they feel more insecure in their access to healthcare. So they access that abortion right now. And maybe that's the reason why we've seen abortion figures go up. Not to mention that I think that if Kamala Harris was elected, even in consideration to abortion, more innocent human lives would be getting saved. Because according to The Lancet, Trump's cuts to USAID expenditure are projected to kill upwards of 3 million people annually over the course of the next 4 years, totaling to 14 million people. If Kamala Harris was elected, she wouldn't have cut USAID, meaning that Kamala Harris would have saved an additional 3 million lives per year in comparison to Trump.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, that pretty much I mean, you kind of hit it then on the nail, the head of the nail with that's kind of the only thread that was hanging on. Like I kind of said earlier, I'm not as strongly supporting of Trump as you are against the support of Trump, and I would have to say that makes it very difficult to pertain support of Trump.
Yeah, I mean, in consideration of A, the argument I gave you about abortions for rape victims, B, the statistics that I gave you about how about the fact that the number of abortions annually has actually gone up after Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, and C, the other fact that I granted you, which is we know more innocent human life would have been saved if Harris was elected because she wouldn't have defunded USAID. Do you still support Trump, or would you argue in retrospect that we should have voted for Harris because rape victims would have had access to abortion in all 50 states and there would have been more innocent human life saved?
Yeah, I would definitely think in the idea of human lives being saved, Harris would have been the better option for that specific purpose.
And you said that this was kind of the last specific thing that you kind of supported Trump on. So does this make you revoke your support from him in its entirety?
I mean, it's definitely not going to be something that's going to flip flop and change during like a 5-minute conversation. But it's definitely I'm going to take some time to think about it, and more than likely, I can't say with confidence right now that I support Trump.
Good. Yeah, listen, I don't expect to be able to change your mind in a 10-minute conversation because I'm not just working with your logical faculties. We're also working with your emotional faculties, like everybody has them. Cognitive dissonance is real. There is a disconnect between what we could rationally perceive to be the truth and what we can emotionally accept as the truth because of about 1 billion innate biases that exist within us all. So take some time to think about it. Thank you for coming up, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to start the stream, everybody. I mean, I think we pretty much got that guy. I think he's going to change his mind 110%. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only off inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Thank you so much for the Galaxy, as well as over on Super Chat, Gravid. Thank you so much for the $10, who says, if it's true that education equals more pay, and it's true that women are more educated than men on average, then why do they make 82 cents on the dollar? Really good question. Really good question. Thank you so much for the $10, Gravid. Yeah, that's because women are stigmatized away from particular fields and which pay higher because they've been classified as a man's job. And frankly, Gravid, that's actually a really good argument for that. DB, thank you for the motorcycle. Because if the argument is the more educated you are, the more likely you are to make more money over the course of your life, which is true, and women have more degrees than men, yet they still make less than men on average, that is definitely an example of the patriarchy at work. Mads, do you support Trump?
Dean Withers, 1v1s, Parker.
Okay, let's go to get the next guest connected. We got our next guest loading in right now. As well as huge shout out to you, Hot Dog, for the $10, who says, love you, Dean. Love from Maryland. Well, love to you and love to Maryland. I appreciate you. Thank you. Do show some love. Do show some love to Hot Dog down below. Same thing to you, Sandra. Thank you for the 20 euros. Who says, Belgian here and proud of my team. Yes, shout out to your team, Sandra. Shout out to your country, Sandra. We love you guys. Dude, let's get some W Belgiums down below that comment section while we're looking for the next guest. Huge shout out to Belgium and Sandra. Thank you for the 20 euros. You are the GOAT. You already know it. Omar, thank you for the $10. Who says another speedrun record? Lamau speedrunning seems like you get more people to change minds. I know, bro. When we speedrun, we do change people's minds. Mr. Joseph, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Damn, dude. That is so much money. Thank you so much for that love and support. My man. Let's get 500 Joseph W's in that comment section. Holy cow. Joseph with a 50 says, huge W for starting the day with a mind change. Keep going. Appreciate you, boss. Appreciate you so very much. Show some love to Joseph. T, thank you for the $20. Who says, have you seen the NM Attorney General investigation into the DEA intentionally allowing the F drug to flood New Mexico? The Associated Press revealed what the DEA was doing. I have not seen that. I'll make sure that I take a look into that ASAP, T. If that's true, that is major reporting. Thank you so much for informing me about that, and thank you for the $20, T. Same thing to Lena with the $15. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the love and support. Huge shout out to Lena. Then Raquel with a $10 says, thank you for changing people's minds. Well, I try my best. Thank you so much, Raquel. Welcome in. How we doing, Caden? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty. Age, please,
No.
Caden?
I just turned 18 today.
I could hear the smile through the mic. You are a liar. Moving on to the next guest, Danny. What a liar. Do you support Trump?
I'm a libertarian.
Okay. Alrighty. That does not answer my question. Do you support Trump?
Kind of.
Kind of. Do you agree with Trump's immigration policy?
I'm open borders.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a true libertarian view.
Yeah, I'm not a fake MAGA libertarian. So.
Yeah, no, you're true, dude. If you're for open borders, you're a true libertarian, and I'm not even trolling. What does he do that you agree with?
I don't really agree. I don't know. He kind of sucked on the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, bro. Think about all the tariffs, regulation on the market.
Yeah, tariffs suck. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Tariffs absolutely fucking suck.
Were you a libertarian before, Dean? I
was.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think I'd hop on. So
I was a libertarian. Yeah.
What made you change? I'm genuinely curious.
I'll answer your question, then I'm gonna move on to the next guest.
That's fine.
Well, it's because I did determine that the free markets don't always produce the most optimal outcomes. So once I convince myself that the free markets don't always produce the most optimal outcomes, well, that's when you start to accept some regulation of the markets. You accept some regulation of the markets. You kind of start to walk away from libertarianism.
Can I respond? And then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of free markets. Sometimes shit happens, and you gotta let the markets do its thing. But yeah, Trump sucks. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, sometimes shit does happen, but if we could predict that shit happening as an outcome of the free market, and we can account through that through good regulation, then we should do that. And if you accept that we should do that, then you kind of start rejecting libertarianism.
Gotcha. Okay. One last question, and then I'll let you go.
Now I'm going to move on. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Yeah, I was a libertarian for a very long time. I was fully convinced of it. And I mean, this was after I had kind of rejected the GOP, after I was no longer a Republican, and after I was really progressive on social issues. I was a libertarian even at the start when I was running these live streams, but I just kind of concerned myself with social issues because I genuinely thought that it was what was best off for everybody. But no, I mean, it's not. Parker changed my mind on that. Parker is actually responsible for changing my mind on libertarianism. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue if you do happen to be MAG, everybody. What somebody in the chat asked, what's libertarianism? Basically, really, really, really small government. Really small government. And, this means that you don't really have borders under libertarianism because, that's kind of a signifier of a larger government. I would say that the political ideology that I held on to a long time, which was anarcho-libertarianism, is kind of close to anarcho-communism or anarcho-socialism. They're kind of close. There's a couple differences. But that's kind of the realm of political ideology that I fell into for a while. Simono, thank you so much for the Galaxy Globe. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Thank you. Tyler, do you support Trump?
So I'm not gonna say I support him as a person.
You do as a president. Okay, yeah. How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year are you born in?
2008, January 1st.
Okay, sounds good. And you do support him as a president, right?
Less and less the more I see like him as a person. I don't really support him as a person and like such.
If the
I
election
just
was held
like
tomorrow between Trump and Harris, who'd you vote for?
I would probably pick Trump over Harris.
Okay, sounds good. Somebody in the YouTube chat, I would assume that this is in response to me talking about how I used to be an anarcho-libertarian, says, so no environmental regulations, no clean water. Yeah, exactly. And those are a couple of the things that kind of changed my mind about it. I think I'd convinced myself for a while that, the free markets could control environmental regulations. No, that's just some bullshit. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm not an anarcho-libertarian anymore. Here, let me thank a couple people that'll pass you the mic. Aiden, thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars, who says, early Dean stream today. Yes, we are live a lot earlier today than usual. We got to go camping later. Alicia, thank you for the $12, who says, have a great day at LOL. Well, thank you so much, Alicia. You are the GOAT. Kirsten, thank you for the $10 as well. He says, thank you for all that you do. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for the $10, and I hope that you enjoyed the debates today. Hannah, thank you for the $10 as well. I appreciate you so very much for the $10. Shout out to you. Brent and Molly, thank you guys for the 5. Same thing to you, Isabel. Then one last one for now. Thank you, Damien, for the $10, who says, hey, Dean, I'm Damien from MD. Been loving your streams, and I made you in Tamagotchi life. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Damon. Listen, thank you so much for the $10. I hope that you enjoyed today's stream. And Tyler, why don't you go and take it away and tell us why you still do support Trump as president?
Okay. So honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I wanted to come up here is because I wanted to ask you on your point of view on one specific thing, because me and you share a lot of point of views about Trump, but I just personally think he's better when it comes to the economic situation, and I know we're in a shitty economic situation.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that. Listen, I think that
honestly,
you think that he's better for the economy because he says he's better for the economy, and your parents probably
Yeah.
do too, right? But he's not. His economic policy has been terrible. The economy is much worse off today than it was when Biden left office. Surprisingly, the Biden-Harris administration was actually great for the economy. It just doesn't really seem like it, because while they're passing some of the best economic policy in modern American history, the economy was absolutely fucking destroyed by the pandemic. And then, like, the entirety of the Republican Party turned around and blamed it all on Biden, and then they just didn't say shit. Their messaging was terrible.
Yeah. But the reason why I wanted to come up, not anything, it was honestly about one conversation I heard you have, which is about abortion, which is one thing I do care about more. And it's because you guys, like, I always hear the whole rape situation come up on, like, if a girl's raped or whatever, and but if you look into it, less than 1% of abortions in the US are from that situation happening.
First thing I'll say here, it's just less than 1% of abortions in the US that are reported as pregnancies terminated after being onset by rape. I would say that the actual percentage of abortions that women get after being impregnated by rape would be much higher than 1%. But even if it genuinely is just 1%, that's still, 10,000 people a year. That's a lot of people. I care about those 10,000 people. I honestly, I wouldn't care even if it was just one person.
Roughly 3.2 million women yearly are impregnated from rape, but less than 1 million of those actually get them aborted.
I don't think that those stats are true. Could you just tell us why you vote for Trump of the abortion? Maybe that's on a global stage.
No, that's Red Cross, a U.S.
Okay, then there's no way that just 1% of abortions are from rape.
That's Red Cross stats.
Yeah, I don't believe you that Red Cross would report that less than 1% of abortions are from rape if there are 3.2 million women impregnated by rape in America annually, because the amount of abortions in America.
5% of
the amount of abortions in America is just 1 million. And if you're saying that 1% of those 1 million abortions are gone by rape, well, then you're saying that there's 10,000 abortions from rape. So you're telling me that there's over 3 million. You're telling me that there's over 3 million annual pregnancies from rape, but only 10,000 abortions from rape? I don't buy that.
Exactly.
But could you just tell us why you'd vote for Trump tomorrow?
Why I would vote? Because the way I seen Kamala act during the
that's how you pronounce her name.
However, is she changed her a lot. She changed a lot, actually. She changed her voice for the crowd she was talking to. She changed what she believed in for the crowd she was talking to. She said things that contradicted things that she had already said multiple times while during the whole election. And I'm not going to trust somebody as far as I can throw them when they're already contradicting themselves. And I don't even like Trump. I'm mad about the election of Trump right now. I wish we had somebody better than Trump. The only reason that I would really vote for Trump is because he shares my main viewpoints about how, like, of keeping the amendments and I'll bring up gun control. I really stand for for keeping guns in America, not getting rid of gun laws. Don't get me wrong. Like, there should be restrictions on it, but I believe that we should keep them. And a lot of, at least Democrats, do get very far in, oh, we need to get rid of all guns because it's going to help. But if in the long run, it's not going to help, because people, no matter what, have guns illegally, and you're not going to be able to get rid of those illegal guns. So
Yeah, so much to respond to. Well, I guess we'll go back to front starting with the last thing that you said about guns. If there were Democrats that wanted to get rid of all guns, then why is there not one Democratic state that has banned all guns?
Because it's constitutional.
Can you name like one Democratic state that has like tried to ban all guns and failed because of 2A? Can you name a Democratic state that has attempted to influence legislation to ban as many guns as they can while not violating 2A?
Yeah. So New York State is doing that right now. I actually live in New York State. They are making it so you have to start getting licenses to buy all guns. The only gun I can purchase right now without a license in my state is actually a shotgun.
Do you need a license to drive a car?
Yes, but you don't need
Okay.
I don't need a.
I think if you need a license to drive a car, then you should need a license to own a gun.
You shouldn't need a license to own a
guess
rifle.
what? Guess what? You're saying that you need a license to drive a car because cars can be deadly weapons if they're misused? Okay. Well, you should need therefore a license to own a gun because guns could be deadly weapons. Guns are designed and intended to be deadly weapons. I personally have no problem with licenses to get guns.
I don't
fully
have a
endorse and
problem
support
with
that
most
policy.
licenses. The licenses I care about are the licenses that we're dropping that are hundreds of dollars. They're trying to make it so people cannot afford guns. That's what they're doing in New York State right now. And it's actually forcing, like, I'm planning on moving out of New York State because of this reason, because I can't own things. Like, even in Pennsylvania, where I live on the border of Pennsylvania, I cannot own certain, like, multiple guns legally.
Bro, listen, if it costs a couple $100s to do like the course to get the license, then just save that money up if you really want to do it. The reason why the government doesn't offer that service for free is because it's an elective service that you don't need. And it's so fucking funny because you and other members of the Republican Party will turn around and say that the essential social safety nets that people do need, like healthcare, should never be free. But then the non-essential government services that people don't need, like a license to own a gun, should be free. It just doesn't really make too much sense to me how you're so hypocritical in that sense. But like,
I've never said that.
I want to tell you, like, right now, I'm in Colorado. Colorado just passed legislation to require licensees to get AR-style weapons in my state, and this law goes into effect on August 1st. And I actually called a local gun shop today because I'm in the process of buying an SBR, a short barrel rifle for home defense. And, you know, they told me that the one I was looking at the last time I went in sold. So now they're going to have to order one in for me that could take 5 weeks. But when that happens, I'm going to have to, you know, first go through this course to then get a license because that goes into effect in August. And honestly, my response was, damn, it looks like we're actually going in a positive direction. Like, I'm happy that I need to take this course on how to use the gun safely. And I'm happy that this course also requires special approval from the local sheriff office. Because guess what? That's going to save lives either by neglect because it teaches people how to use the guns that they're about to buy, or it's going to save lives by just adding an additional level of security surrounding, ensuring that maybe the sheriff will have an additional ability to reject this license to people that probably shouldn't have that gun in the first place because they could use it for bad reasons. I think that licensing for guns are a good thing, and this is coming from somebody that is a gun owner. I own multiple firearms. I have a 9mm and a home defense 12-gauge shotgun, and intend to get a short barrel rifle also for home defense because of my line of work, my life, and the life and the safety of my girlfriend and other people who live in my house or stay at my house are genuinely on the line. I've had an FBI agent show up to my house before to tell me that somebody from Texas was trying to come to my house to find me to kill me. I've had the cops show up at my door to come in and barge in and swat me. I've had a locksmith show up at my door because somebody hired a locksmith to change my lock to get into my house. So I mean, I understand the reasons why you want to own firearms for home defense, and because I need home defense because of the position that I'm in, I'm definitely a gun owner myself, but I absolutely do believe that those guns should be licensed.
I like that. I like that a lot. That was a really good point of view on it, actually. I don't know. My whole thing with because like a lot of stuff you already do need licenses for, and with the whole like rifle thing you're talking about, where like if I mean, like, I don't know, I do get it. It's also the fact of like the background checks also tell you almost everything you need to know in order
Guess
of
what? There's like 25 states that don't have background checks. It's crazy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yes,
For guns,
background.
there's no background.
Yeah, background checks are not a federal requirement.
Really? Okay, so like I didn't even know all that.
And by the way, they don't. So the background check that you do for like the typical firearms that you buy are very limited in scope. Very limited in scope. That's why when you're looking for like SBR PDWs, short barrel rifle personal defense weapons, you have to go through like special background checks that take the ITF like right now on average 21 days.
It takes a
special. Yeah, it's a special tax stamp too. So I mean, those quick background checks that you do when you go to buy a gun at like a Sportsman warehouse, they just ensure that you're not a felon and ensure that you're a U.S. citizen, and that's really about it.
And I mean, I completely agree with not giving felons weapons and all that shit too.
Well, then why do you want to give a felon access to the nuclear codes?
Wow. So I don't want to give a felon access.
Donald Trump is a 34 count felon that you're arguing in support of in the presidency, and he has access to the nuclear codes.
I didn't vote for him, and honestly, right now, I'm kind of wishing we had someone better. Like I said before, the only thing that would have sent me to vote for him is the fact of the political viewpoint of, like, we match in when he was going for election, the things he said, at least, because he's not. I'll tell you right to your face right now, he's not going by what he said he would do. He's not doing.
Which
really
is just another reason
anything.
to stop supporting him as president today. And then the points that you made insofar as why you wouldn't support Kamala Harris. You said that, she changed her accent. No, she spoke at a rally in Atlanta, Georgia, in AAVE, which is African American vernacular English, because she was in front of a disproportionately black and brown audience. And the reason why she did that is the same reason that a lot of black people in America do that. It's because they code switch. AAVE has been stigmatized as ghetto, unsavory, unintelligent, and stupid by white Americans in this country. Even though it is just as much of a grammatically correct and valid vernacular of the English language and has been for a long time. So in response, many black individuals will code switch out of AAVE when speaking in front of white people because they don't want those white people to turn around and assume that they're uneducated and stupid. And then subconsciously, they will code switch back into AAVE when they're disproportionately in front of black people. So, I mean, who gives a fuck about code switching? If anything, we should be concerned with the reason why they code switch, which is racist socialization around the nature of AAVE. And B, why would this be disqualifying for the presidency on behalf of Kamala Harris, but Trump literally being a rapist wouldn't be disqualifying on behalf of himself?
Well, I mean, with the whole like rape stuff, I mean, that was all kind of like proven not wrong, but like it wasn't proven true.
The opposite is the case. It was proven true. A unanimous jury of 9 ruled that Donald Trump raped a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll, and that jury was right-leaning. E. Jean Carroll's attorneys tried to eject a juror that was a MAGA fanatic, and in response, the judge said no, because political bias on its own is not a reason to remove a juror from the jury. But even he, the MAGA fanatic, ruled Donald Trump's guilt, and then Donald Trump appealed the ruling 5 times. Every time the appeal was unsuccessful, including the Supreme Court. Last week, the Supreme Court upheld the verdict that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll.
Okay. I'm not even. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I haven't even looked into all that. I can't lie. I do need to look into that more. Now that you say that, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and go look into that more? The
but
last thing I'm going to leave you with here before I move on to the next guest is once again just about guns. The Democratic Party doesn't want to ban all guns. The Democratic Party just wants to ensure that those guns aren't going to fall into the hands of bad people. And that is a goal that we should all support when we have more than one mass shooting per day on average in this country. And if you've ever shot a fucking firearm, okay, you know that is the power of God in your hands. It's honestly kind of a frightening, shocking thing to shoot a gun because oh my goodness, the power and the sound and the fact that bullet can penetrate and kill just about anything is honestly a power that should not be cast out and handed to people all willy-nilly, and we should probably ensure that the people who we are giving that power to are not going to do anything bad with it, which might include licensing, definitely includes background checks, and also probably includes banning some guns. But I'm going to move on to the next guest. Thanks for coming up, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, okay?
yeah, have a good one.
So going to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the queue if you do happen to be MAGA, everybody. Only hop inside of the queue if you do happen to be MAGA. Let's go to get the next guest. Trey loading up inside of the box. I saw somebody earlier when I was describing the fact that I'm going out to buy another PDW. Somebody described me as a 2A fanatic. No, guys, I'm not a 2A fanatic. I just want to protect me and my family because our lives have been put in jeopardy so many times because of what I do online. Lila, thank you for the galaxy. And you know what? I could conceal the fact that I am a gun owner and want to own more guns for better self-defense and home defense scenarios. I could lie about that. I could admit that and not talk about it to kind of virtue signal to the crowd. But I want to be honest and transparent, you know? Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Trey?
Yeah, but I got a question for you,
How old are you?
Stefan. I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
2008, June 20th.
Dude, why is fucking everybody 2008 today?
Sorry, I guess.
Go get your parent on the mic, bro. Go get
Sorry?
dad. Put dad on the mic. Let me
Are you
debate
serious?
let me debate someone over the age of 35, please.
Well, my vote's the same as my dad's, so why does it matter?
Just messing with you, but I would like to
Yeah, you
talk to
better be.
people that are a little bit older with a little bit more life experience that can give me a better argument than Kamala Harris.
No, I don't even. I'm not gonna. I just was curious. If you can name one thing that Trump is good at. If there one thing.
No, there's nothing he's good at. I
Really?
maybe usually the question is, oh, Dean, can you name one policy that he passed that you agree with? Sure, expediting the approval of the COVID vaccine, but he didn't do that because he's good at concerning himself with public health. He did that in pure chance, probably to get approval. But then when his party started to reject the vaccine, so did he. So are you going to
Wait.
give an argument for why you support Trump as president, please?
Do you know the song Piano Man? I can play it on the harmonica.
Yeah, cool, bro. Do you want to give an argument why you support Trump, please? You actually can't play Piano Man on the harmonica. You actually can't, by the way. You said you could and you fucking lied. Wow, that was a real letdown. That was a real letdown. I was super excited. I was actually kind of hyped to hear this man whip out Piano Man on the harmonica. You know, I was gonna start. Oh shit! What happened to my? There we go. I was gonna start playing along with him, dude. Look at this. I was going to start playing along with him, dude, but no, he couldn't do it. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the queue if you do happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I would really appreciate it so very much if you guys could please follow the rules of the live stream. If you want to support me, if you want to support the live stream, you can find my PayPal and my Venmo in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. You could also find them in the pinned message over on that YouTube stream, as well as the handles at the top of the phone screen on TikTok, too. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in the last name, Withers, everybody. So do make sure that you're following those rules. Let's go to get that next guest connected. We got Marley loading up. Freddie, appreciate you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat. Freddie, I'm not going to lie, you're a little bit of a weirdo. I'm just trying to be honest, Freddie. You've been saying some really out-of-pocket things that I haven't really appreciated. But I just thought I'd let you know. I try to be honest within that respect. Maybe if you're not a common YouTube viewer, specifically if you're on TikTok, so you haven't seen Freddie's messages before, you probably just think I'm being an asshole. But if you are a frequent viewer on that YouTube stream and you've seen Freddie's messages before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got Gabrielle loading up in. Yeah, Gravid, who is a very frequent YouTube viewer, says Freddie been tweaking. Yeah, a little bit. Gravid. Let's go to get the next guest connected. I'll just go to get the next guest connected. We got Jonathan loading into the box, guys. We were very specifically looking for some Trump supporters to bring up here for some dialogue. Welcome, Jonathan. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, and what time is it?
Sorry?
What time is it?
It's currently 14:53.
What state are you in?
In Florida, Tallahassee.
Okay, what's one state that borders Florida?
The border's Florida?
Yeah. Hee hee. Moving on to the next guest. Only up inside of the queue if you are here to debate. Only up inside of the queue if you are here to debate. Let's go to get the next guest connected right now. We got Delilah loading up. Hey, Sarah! Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, who says, most, if not all, states require fishing licenses. I don't know of any deaths from a fishing pole. In Louisiana, you need a license to alligator hunt, but not to own a gun. Make it make sense? Well, it actually doesn't make any sense. That's why licenses to own guns are a good thing. And now, like with my search for an SBR PDW, I'm gonna have to get a license for it when a month ago I wouldn't have had. So it's it's much more costly to myself. But honestly, I support it because we should be licensing guns. Absolutely. Samantha, thank you so much for the $5. Who says, why would anybody need a rifle for home defense? Genuinely asking. Well, it depends on the type of rifle. So I mean, some would argue, and like probably including myself, that I would prefer like a short-barreled rifle, like a PDW SPR for home defense, simply because it's going to, at least from my experience, it's going to hold more rounds than, say, a handgun. It's going to be, at least because, you could have that stock on the PDW and the SPR. It's going to be more stable and thereby, at least from my perspective of the user, more accurate than a handgun. So I would definitely argue that like an SBR would be a little bit better for home defense than a handgun. But then the conversation just kind of goes down to, well, would you rather have a short barrel rifle or a shotgun for home defense? And, I kind of made the decision that I would prefer a short barrel rifle over a 12 gauge. Just because I shot my 12 gauge, over 4th of July. And it just, I wasn't that good with it. Because it's not one of the ones that has a stock that you aim down. You just kind of point it in the direction that you want it to shoot. And I'm sure that you could get really good at being accurate with that just by practice. But, I'm not in a position where I could shoot that 12 gauge enough to become really accurate with it. So I would prefer that short barrel rifle. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got Mr. J. All right, we got Mr. J loading up in the box. Mr. J is not connecting. That's fine. So let's go to get the next guest connected. All right, we got Final Libby connecting. Georgia, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for that love, Georgia. Let's get 200 Georgia W's while we're looking for the next guest. Georgia says, please start debating the right-leaning libertarians and Republicans who don't support Trump, convincing them to vote blue in the midterms. They're right around the corner. I'm begging you. Yeah, you know what? We were doing that the other day. I would love to have maybe more people just on the right come up because I feel like it'd be pretty easy to convince them to vote blue in the midterms. It's not that difficult. Moosh with the €10 says use a musket for home defense.
I'm so sorry, but it's my birthday today
like
and I really love you so
founding
much.
fathers.
I'm so sorry.
Happy birthday, Kendra. Like the founding fathers intended. LOL. That's funny. Let's go to get the next Zoe connected. Riley, thank you for the $5. Then June, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, says, I appreciate you so much. Well, thank you, June. I love you. Thank you so much for the $20. You are awesome. Let's get 200 June W's down below. Then Anna with the $10 says support from a Mississippian that isn't MAGA. We love that, Anna. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Zoe?
Well, I don't support him, but I support some of his decisions.
How old are you, Zoe?
I am 18.
What year were you born in, Zoe? Everybody's 18. Jesus. What year were you born in?
2006.
Okay, Zoe, you were bad at math, but I'm very thankful for the fact that you're bad at math. It saves my time. Let's go to get the next guest connected to the box. Here we go. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Let's go to get the next guest connected, everybody. We got a lot of trolls and a lot of kids and a lot of fetuses in the queue. I just want to let everybody know that we are streaming for a little bit shorter than usual, just because I got to go camping later. So this is eating into the time that we do have to do debates. I'd appreciate it so much if you guys would actually respect the rules of the stream. Nina, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you, Nina?
I'm 22.
What year are you born in, Nina?
2003.
Okay, Nina, I'm not gonna lie, your mic's a little bit bad quality. We could hear a lot of background noise. Maybe you have us on your AirPods. Is there any way that you could disconnect us from your AirPods?
Oh, yes, I'm on my AirPods open.
Okay, all right. Nina, why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because I want to be able to buy ARs.
Okay. Well, it's funny. Wow. I mean, we never talk about guns on this live stream, but all of a sudden now we are talking about guns.
No, I've been trying to get in this conversation and everyone keeps talking about abortion, but I've been trying to talk about this topic. And then someone was just talking about it like 3 conversations ago.
Yeah, what do you need a long-barreled AR for? Like an actual AR, like an AR-15. What do you need an AR-15 for?
Well, I think some people have hobbies and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a hobby.
Here's what I'd say. The empirics demonstrate that if we were to ban them, there'd be more innocent lives of children saved. And plus, there's other AR-style guns that aren't specifically ARs that you could buy that'd be better for means of home defense, like SBRs. So I'm actually totally fine with banning them.
Okay, like everywhere in the entire world, like never again?
Everywhere in the
Okay.
U.S. It'd save more innocent lives. They're not necessary for home defense. And there's other AR-style and SBRs that would still be legal that you could use for home defense, and they'd be better for home defense. Yeah.
Okay, so like no one should just have that hobby at all, and it shouldn't.
I care about innocent
contribute-
lives more than your hobby. And this
Okay,
is coming from a man that likes to shoot ARs. I would prefer
Okay.
them. I'd like them to be banned because I care about the lives of innocent children more than I care about how fun it is to shoot an AR.
Actually, I do agree with you. So Thank you.
Fantastic. Do you have any other
Yes.
reasons to support Trump?
that was it. I'm actually a big supporter of you, and I just wanted to talk about ARs. But yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else you want to go over, or was that it?
That's it. Thank you, Dean.
All right. Yeah, you take care. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Yeah, we did a ban on the on ARs in the 90s. First and foremost, it was constitutional. Second of all, it saved life, so I'm with it. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got M5 Warrior loading up. Davey Gamey, appreciate you for the 10 Canadian dollars, who says, we were taught Western civilization was the greatest nation, and somehow our colonization and nationalism was our way of spreading that greatness. What an amazing lie that was. Such an amazing
I
lie.
hate LGBTQ.
Okay, well, I hate little children that think they know anything about anything. Let's go to move on to the next guest because they're like 5. We got Chloe loading up inside of that box. Here we go. That was a little bit harsh. That was a little bit harsh. I don't actually hate children. Hey, listen to that last fetus. I hope that you grow up. Let's go to get the next guest connected. That was a little bit harsh. Let's gonna get the next guest connected. We got Jay Lott and Ed. You motherfuckers in the chat. You're actually terrible. Someone in the chat said fetus delete. Dude, fetus delete us. You're actually terrible. Holy. You're actually terrible. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only up inside of the box if you happen to be MAGA. Javier, thank you for the $10, who says, opinion on the Supreme Court hearing an AR-15 ban case next term. All bans might be ruled unconstitutional next year. Yeah, dude. I'm pretty nervous about this Supreme Court hearing an AR-15 ban. But maybe they surprise us. It's not like they haven't. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Addy? Sorry, Adam?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
Yeah, you said what?
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What time is it?
3 p.m.
What state are you in?
Florida.
Wait, you're just up here. Banned. Moving on to the next guest. Yeah, you're just up here. I remember you. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Folks, is there anybody over the age of 18 that would like to debate me on why you support Trump? Like, genuinely, like, fucking anyone? We've just had, like, straight 08, 18-year-old bots. You know? Like, let's get somebody else that's a bit older in the mix there. Do you support Trump?
Dean, I wouldn't say necessarily supporting him. I have, like, a biased opinion on, like, Trump and Kamala. Like, I'm not sure who
How old are
I
you?
should. I'm 18, March 3rd, 2008.
You said you're not sure who you should support?
No, I'm not. But
Okay.
see,
Well,
the
hey, listen,
only-
man. Here's what I'd say. Just you should continue to listen to the live stream because we are looking for people who do support Trump. And if you're not sure on who you should
well,
support,
I
just
do
listen to
support
what
some of
we
the
have.
stuff he like stands for and stuff.
Really,
That's
like
I'm
what?
trying to say. Like, I mean, I know you've heard a lot about abortion and stuff, but it's not necessarily abortion that I don't agree with. It's like having an abortion late in a pregnancy, like not like 4 weeks or like
How late?
something like that. I'd say like maybe like 2-3 months into a
Three
pregnancy.
months, 12 weeks. What's wrong with an abortion at 12 weeks?
Well, I've seen videos of like how they get like the abortions once the like actual fetus starts growing and starts
Okay.
having like limbs
What-
and stuff.
Okay. So what about the possession of a limb makes the fetus more valuable than it was before it started to develop a limb?
Well, like once it starts having like a body, I feel like it's just wrong because I've seen them like literally pull pieces of like children out of the womb
Of the fetus out of the womb. That's after the fetus is dead, and they have to do it because it's the only way to get it out. I guess
Yeah,
the safest way to get it out.
It's
But it's
just
already
unsafe.
dead.
Yeah, but then again, like on an abortion, I also understand why most women would have an abortion because of like rape, and also like there's like things with pregnancies where like some women just can't.
Also, by the way, you don't need to chop it up at 12 weeks. Like up until 20 weeks in most states, you could take the abortion pill, and that just kind of naturally flushes the fetus out of the woman's body. And in many states, they offer that up until 20 weeks. So,
Yeah. Well,
are you okay with that?
But, I mean, I would say it's fine, like up to a certain point. But then
Okay,
again,
so
like,
so now is your standard 20 weeks because you could take the abortion pill that kind of just naturally flushes the fetus out of your uterus until 20 weeks without cutting it up?
I would say around 20 weeks. If they can like
Those were that okay. Well, that was
Yeah.
that around 20 weeks was the legal cutoff for the constitutional protections under Roe v. Wade. So you were a fan of Roe v. Wade, so you weren't a fan of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade.
I wouldn't say so, to be honest, because Donald Trump has.
But you
did
just told me that
absolute-
you agreed with Roe v. Wade. When you told me that you agree with protected legal access to elective abortions until around 20 weeks, you're telling us that you agree with Roe v. Wade because that's exactly what Roe v. Wade did.
All right, yeah. I mean,
So you are a fan of Roe v. Wade. True or false?
true, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you weren't a fan of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade. True or false?
True.
Okay. Does Donald Trump have any abortion policy outside of him overturning Roe v. Wade?
I don't think so.
No. So the only thing that Donald Trump has done in reference to abortion is something that you did not like. So then this wouldn't be a reason why you think you might support Trump.
Yeah, no, but like, what I'm also trying to like be in here for, I want you to like try to help me understand why I shouldn't support Trump because I know he's done horribles to our economic system and stuff.
Yeah, listen, I'll give you a couple points, but then I'm going to move on, and I just incentivize
Yeah.
you to listen into the rest of the debates. He has a
Yeah,
terrible
that's fine.
character with terrible policy. He's a rapist. He's a 34-count felon. He boasted about barging into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls. He's been accused of rape or sexual assault by upwards of 37-plus women, including his ex-wife in divorce proceedings years and years and years ago. And his policy sucks. He's destroyed the economy. He's disenfranchised the working class, marginalized communities in this country. He's attacked our Constitution. And further yet, on top of that, his foreign policy is bad by starting needless wars of choice overseas. Like I said, Zay, please do tune into the live stream and continue to hear me out and listen to me for what I have to say. I think that you could take a lot away by just tuning into the debates that I have with other guests. You know, we hear a lot of people that come up here and tell us, well, Dean, is there any reasons you could give me why I shouldn't support Trump to convince me otherwise? And yeah, there's about 1 billion and one of those reasons, and that's exactly why you should watch the lives. Welcoming Chloe, do you support Trump?
I do.
Age, please. Let me guess. 18, born in '08, like everybody else. Chloe, hello? If you're leaving the stream, then we can't hear you.
Hello?
Okay, Chloe, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, wow. We're stepping up in the world. Look at us. What year were you born in?
07.
What month?
March.
Okay. Are you telling the truth?
I am.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
Can you put it on God?
On God.
On the Bible?
On the Bible.
On everything?
On everything. What do you...
Okay, I believe you. All right. Let's go to start that conversation. For everybody in the comment section, say that and make her 20. I wanted to make her 19. Give me 1 second here to thank a couple people, then I'll pass the mic to you. Over on Super Chat, thank you, Freddie, for the $20. Let's get to 100 Freddie W's, who says, I hope I could try to be normal on Dean's Live. Yeah, try your best, Freddie. Same thing to you, Fro, Phro. Thank you so much for the $20 as well. Who says, listen to Gun by MCR. It's so good and relevant. I'll take a listen. Well, thank you so much, Fro, for the $20 and that recommendation. I really appreciate you. Thank you. As well as, let's see here. Paige, oh my goodness, this came in 9 minutes ago on Venmo. Thank you so much for the $30 donation. That is so much money, and I'm very, very grateful for you. Thank you so much for that love and support, Paige. Let's get 300 Paige W's, who says, love everything that you do. Here's a bonus for being patient with all the kids today. Well, thank you, Paige. You are the best. Same thing to Aaron with the $10, who says, hey, Dean, I really appreciate everything that you're doing. You've really changed my mind and life over this past year. Well, I'm so happy that we could help you better form your political beliefs. That is exactly why I run these live streams, and I'm just so happy, that we're doing something good. That's exactly what we want. I love that so much. As well as Kyla, thank you for the $10, who says Tyler Robinson went to court for preliminary. People saying that he didn't do it, including Candace Owens' thoughts. I haven't been keeping up with that. I think he did do it, but I could be convinced otherwise by evidence. Colton, thank you for the $10, who says, I'm on the way to work while listening to your lives. I love to make my muscles and work out while I'm listening to your lives. I love to make my muscles and brain bigger at the same time. That's fucking awesome, Colton. You're the GOAT. Thank you. Let's see here. Also, Marla, thank you for the $3. Daniel, thank you so much for the $17 and the 91 cents, who says, hey, Dean, curious on why you only debate right-wingers and not left-wingers at all? I feel like debating non-MAGA people could really open your mind and other people's minds. Thank you. Well, because me and left-wingers are going to agree on a lot, unless you're talking about like establishment liberals or like specifics about political policy, political and economic reform as it relates to progressive liberal versus socialist and communist. But like ultimately, those conversations don't seem to be too hyper relevant to the purpose why I run these live streams, which is just to get more people informed and more people out there to vote for change and progression. Maybe I'd debate a socialist or communist on like why they should vote if they don't vote. Because that's going to be an actionable argument to demonstrate why they should vote for a candidate that they wouldn't have otherwise. Anastasia, thank you for the 90 cents, as well as Stephanie, thank you for the $5. Everybody in the chat is saying you're 14. Is this true?
No, I'm not.
For those in the chat saying that she's 14, is there any demonstrable evidence of this claim being true? I'll take a look at the chat. If there's evidence of it, feel free to say it. Down below, go ahead and take it away and tell us why you support Trump.
I saw somebody say that in my username, since there was like 11, that's my like year that I was born, but it's just a favorite number I have.
Oh yeah, that's probably what they're saying. I don't really think that's too demonstrable of evidence for the claim. Once again, everybody. Okay, you guys were right. Thanks, thank you so much, chat. I don't know why these children want to waste my time. It's really annoying, honestly. Unemployed, but why would they be employed? They're 14, that'd be child labor. Still unemployed, though. Even though she shouldn't be employed, she's still unemployed. Do you support Trump, Kroom Reaper?
Yes.
How old are you?
32.
Oh wow, wow! This is huge. We're really working our way up. Look at this, dude. Why don't you go ahead and tell us why you support Trump, dude?
Well, first off, you once again, I got up and I just seen how much you lie about everything. Dean, can you tell me how many people are unalived annually from rifles in America?
No. Is this where you tell me
Okay,
that a vast majority of those unalivings are from handguns? If so, I know that to be
do
true.
you do
The
you
reason why, of
do
course, is
you
because handguns are significantly more prevalent for gun owners than AR-style rifles.
Okay, and then not only that, but Dean, do you know more people are unalived by hands and feet than rifles in America every single year?
I mean,
Do you want to ban hands and feet next?
I'll take your word for it, but of course the response here
And
would
then
be is that
and
well,
then
actually,
and
let me
then
respond to that. No, you said something. Let me respond. We can't really like ban people's hands and feet, but we like can ban people's ARs. So,
oh, but what if you needed a license for your hands and feet?
well, I mean, I don't think that you can license something in which you innately possess.
Okay. So, and then also, Dean, you were completely wrong about your assault weapons ban that you claim saved lives. In its own report, it claimed that it didn't have any kind of influence on that, and it says it in the own report. I can
Yeah, if you
tell
could
you
if you
where
could
it says.
demonstrate that to me, I would love to see it.
Yeah,
The
I'll give
reason
you the
why
article. I'll give you the
why
exact title. I'm gonna
the
geek
reason
up for
why
a sec.
the reason why I'm led to believe that that would save lives is because every time gun research reports, the more gun control that a state has, the less gun deaths they have per 100,000 residents. But I mean, if you could like demonstrate empirical evidence to prove that
All right.
an
So
AR
the
ban
title
would save
is
lives,
an
then
updated
I'd be willing to
assessment.
change my mind on it.
So the title is an updated assessment of the federal assault weapon ban.
Weapon ban. Who's it by?
And then, well, this was actually, I'm pretty sure this was actually the ATF that produced it. This was given to Biden. I think it was 2023 or yeah, it was
Are you talking
2023
about
that it was.
the one by C.S. Cooper in 2004? So I see the only one I see is from C.S. Cooper in 2004.
No. This was an actual document by the federal. I'm pretty sure it was the ATF that did this.
Yeah,
This
that's what I'm looking at. I found this
out.
on the OJP.gov website, and it's by Christopher Cooper in 2004.
Pull it up, and let me see if it's the right one.
Okay, that's fine. I could do that. Is this the right one?
An updated, reported National Institute of Justice, United States Department of Justice. Okay, go down to 9.4. Let me just double check. Go down to summary, 9.4 summary.
Page 96. Is this the right one?
Yeah, I'm going to check it real quick. Okay, and then...
I can take a look at this on my own time.
No, just zoom in real quick. All right, so however counts of... Hold on, so...
I don't want you to just read... I don't want you to just read a report on my live that is ultimately irrelevant to why you support Trump. If you don't know, like, specifically...
This is me correcting you on what you were talking about. Scroll up real quick, Dean.
Well, it's you attempting to provide
So that
me
you're not
data.
even at 9.4. You're not even at 9.4.
Yeah,
You're at 9.2.
So 9.4 is page 96, according to.
No,
the,
you're at look at what it says. 9.21.
Oh,
So
page 96 of the PDF is page 90 of the report. Sorry. There you go.
So go down. Summary. So read that first paragraph, please.
Although the ban has been successful in reducing crimes with AWs, what's an AW?
An assault weapon.
Many benefits from this reduction are likely to have been outweighed by steady rising use of non-banned semi-automatics with LCMs. What were examples of what's
Just
an
keep
LCM?
going. Just keep going.
What's an LCM? Just out of curiosity.
Just keep going.
Which are used in crime more frequently than AWs. Therefore, we cannot clearly credit the ban with any of the nation's recent drop in gun violence, and indeed there's been no discernible reduction in lethality and injuriness of gun violence based on indicators like percentage of gun crimes resulting in death or the shared gunfire incidents resulting in injury. So, okay, so this last sentence here saying that there's been no discernible reduction in the lethality and the injuriness of gun violence based on indicators like the percentage of gun crimes resulting in death.
You skipped the line.
Okay, well,
it says,
I would
therefore, we cannot
believe that.
clearly credit the ban
I saw
with
that. I
any
read
of
that.
the nation's recent drop in GV, right?
Yeah,
and
I'll
LCMs
respond.
are licensed concealed.
License concealed what?
I'm pretty sure it's licensed concealed something. I forgot.
Okay. Well, about this last sentence, I'm fine with this last sentence. I'm not really too concerned about banning weapons to reduce the lethality of gun violence, but I'm more so concerned with the prospect of banning weapons just to reduce gun violence as a whole, even if the lethality of the gun violence that still exists remains the same. You know, like the things that
Yeah,
we use
but
to attack the
that
lethality
wasn't
of gun
what
violence.
was under contention, Dean.
One
What
moment,
was under
sir. I'm still
contention?
speaking. And then about this first statement saying
Wow, the
that it
mute
has
button
been
hit fast
because
today.
you're interrupting
The mute
me.
button hit fast today.
Because
No,
because you're interrupting
talking
me
about
while
something I never
I'm trying to
claimed.
speak.
I never claimed that, Dean. We
You
were
told me
talking
just to
about
look at the
something you
9.4
said.
summary. I'm trying to address
No,
everything
I
in the
told
9.4
you.
summary. Can I continue to speak, dude?
No, you're lying, Dean. Right now, you're lying.
What am I lying
and I'm
about?
clipping the fuck out of this again.
You just had
Dean.
me
You're
read the
such a liar.
9.4 summary.
Because
Let me
you're
respond to it
lying
all.
about what the claim was, Dean. You claim that this worked and it reduced
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
that
trying
it
to respond
correlated.
to right now. I understand.
No,
I
you're
understand.
not.
I understand.
You're
Yes,
not.
I am.
You're
I'm trying to respond to that right now.
Oh man,
Can you let me respond, dude?
what did it say in there? Did it say that it cannot?
What it said
credibly...
is that the ban was successful in reducing crimes with assault weapons. However, they think that the reduction of the crimes from assault weapons were likely outweighed by the steady or rising use of non-banned semi-automatics with large capacity magazines.
No, the steady or rise, right? But once again, Dean, you're sitting here, you were talking about AR-15s a second ago, like they're so deadly that people are just getting unalived all the time by them, when more people are unalived with blunt objects more than they are AR-15s. So, and then you sit here and you made a
I'm
claim.
trying to respond to
You
this all,
said
but you
that
just
the
won't let me.
assault weapons. You said the assault weapons ban actually saved more lives, when it clearly says it does. It can't contribute any of its anything of the assault weapons ban to any life-saving thing. It can't find any credible source that says that. So you're completely wrong about that. And then not only that, Dean, but you talk about.
Well, no, let me respond to that. No, don't. You're not just going to go on to make another point about non-AWs.
Just concede that you just lost, and then
No,
we'll move on.
I would like to
There's no way out
respond.
of this.
Okay,
If you're
then
going
let me
to
try to find a way
pivot
out
into
of
something
this.
else, if you're going to pivot to something else,
Then let me try to
you
find my way
lose,
out of
Dean.
this.
So go ahead, pivot.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, about the 9.4 summary. About the last thing that the 9.4 summary says about it not reducing the lethality of gun violence, I'm fine with that. I'm trying to reduce gun violence, even if the gun violence that remains still has a lethal rate. Like, I generally accept that gun violence is going to have a lethal rate because they're guns. Then about the first section of 9.4 saying that although it was successful in reducing crimes from AWs, any benefits from this reduction are likely outweighed by the steady rising of use of non-banned semi-automatic with LCMs. I see that as a plausible hypothesis. Even they use the indicator term of likely, so I'd like to see what evidence exists to suggest that was likely. However, I do think that a comprehensive ban on ARs would also include more restrictions such as licensing on the federal level for non-banned semi-automatic with LCMs. I mean, plus even after this AR ban expired in 2003, states then begun to crack down on LCMs, and this is why there's magazine capacity limits in many blue states. So, I mean, what I'm saying here is I'm not saying that you're entirely wrong, because I would absolutely believe if we were just to pass an AR ban on its
right.
if we were just to pass an AR ban on its own, that we would see a rise in violence from non-banned semi-automatic with LCMs, which is exactly why in the last 20 years, blue states have become significantly better at passing gun reform and legislation concerning LCMs. And now in Colorado with Senate Bill 8105, ensuring that there are licenses for what would be constituted in this summary as non-banned semi-automatics.
Okay, I'm glad that you like licenses so much, Dean. So, Dean, I want to see if I already know you're a hypocrite, but I just want to see if you're even an honest one. So, Dean, what would you say to a person that just got married that hasn't changed their name if they want to go and get a gun?
Well, that they have to bring evidence of government evidence of their current and new last name on top of their
Okay,
ID.
so why can't we do the same thing with voter? Why can't we do the same thing with voter ID? Why is it okay to do one thing? Why is it okay to do one thing to one right, but not do it to another?
You already have to prove citizenship in order to register, and I'm fine with that. But see, the burden of proving that citizenship falls on the state.
Okay, why do I have to do it? Why do I have to do it again every time I purchase a firearm? When it clearly says in the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed. Where does it say shall not be infringed?
I'm confused on what the nature. I'm confused on what the nature of the question is. Also,
the nature
it
of
says
the question.
The right to
I'll explain it because
also you're wrong about the nature of the Second Amendment. It says that the right to a well-regulated militia shall not be infringed.
Dean, how many clauses does the Second Amendment have, Dean?
I don't know how many clauses the Second
Yeah,
Amendment has.
because you're fucking stupid. It has two. It has the
Okay.
prefatory clause and the occupational
Yes.
clause.
Yes,
Why don't
everybody
you
that's
go
not
ahead and look
familiar
that the
with a
fuck up, Dean?
prefatory clause and the occupation clause is fucking stupid. I couldn't agree more. If you can't recite the prefatory and the occupation clause of the Second Amendment, then you're just honestly a fucking moron. I couldn't agree with you
Wow,
more.
no, you're the one quoting
so
the Second
true.
Amendment like you know
Also,
it. You're the one
trying
quoting it like you know it.
I told you about the most important part of the Second Amendment that's relevant to a conversation about gun
You're
control,
so
which is,
fucking
of
cooked,
course,
and
the
that's the
fact that
first
the
part
Second
of the
Amendment
Second
states
Amendment.
that you have a right to a well-regulated militia, which is exactly why
Okay,
gun
Dean,
regulation is not
what
in
was
violation
the-
of the Constitution, as upheld by
What
district,
was-
federal, and the Supreme Court at many points in the past. Now, you're throwing multiple points at me at the same time in an attempt
No,
to gish
I'm
gallop to
not.
overwhelm me. You made a point about why you need proof of citizenship
Here comes the
in
mute.
order to buy a
You
gun,
mute, you lose.
but you shouldn't need proof of citizenship in order to
You mute, you
in order
lose.
to register to
You
vote.
mute, you
I want
lose.
you to respond. I want you to respond to the
I'm going
argument
to
that I gave you.
respond.
I want you to respond to the
interrupt
argument
me
that I gave
every
you.
time I try to
want you
talk
to
about
respond,
something.
sir. I want you to respond specifically.
look at you.
I want you to
Look
respond
at you.
specifically. Look at me. That's
You're
fine. And
so
listen to me
fucking
too.
scared, Dean.
Listen to
You're
me
so
too.
fucking scared.
If I
You're
was so
such a
scared, then
little-
why would I
look
be
at this
asking you to
little girl
respond to the counter
running
response
from
that
me
I gave
right
you to
now.
a point that you made?
So
If
scared.
I was so
Just
scared,
so scared. You
Sir,
said
if
you
I
wanted
was
to
scared-
debate, so let's
Sir,
debate. Stop muting
sir,
me and talking over me and
sir,
let me
you
respond.
asked- you
haven't
tried to
given me
make an
that
argument.
courtesy that I've given you.
Sir, you tried to make an argument comparing proof of citizenship to
I'll wait
vote.
till you're done crying to respond. So go
Thank you.
ahead, Dean.
You tried to make an argument considering and comparing proof of citizenship in order to register to vote, and then like proof of identification as it would relate to buying a firearm. And then you attempted to label me as a hypocrite because I do think that you should absolutely have to prove who you are and prove your status as, like a resident of the state that you're buying a gun in order to buy a gun. And then you attempted to say that because I don't support the SAVE Act, for that reason, I'm hypocritical. I then gave you a very crystal clear response to that claim, which is I absolutely do believe that there should be proof of citizenship in order to register to vote, in the same way that we've had proof of citizenship in order to register to vote forever. When you register to vote, you have to provide a current address, you have to provide your full name, you have to provide your birthday, as well as you have to provide your social security number. And then what the election office in your local district or county or state does is that they then take that information, they contrast it to the ID that you also provide them, and then they demonstrate and prove with their system that you are a citizen. And then as soon as they could prove that in their system that you're a citizen, then they allow you to become a registered voter, and then you are able to vote. The reason why I support the SAVE Act is not because I don't think that it's important to prove citizenship for people who are registering to vote, but rather because I don't think that the exhaustive cost of proving that citizenship should fall on the individual citizen, as well as I don't think that that should fall on the individual citizen insofar as providing a birth certificate or a passport when an SSN does the trick, and it has done the trick for a long time, which is exactly why even sources on the right, such as the Heritage Foundation, report very limited scenarios of non-citizens engaging in election fraud by registering to vote and voting over the course of the last 25 years. So, like, we're talking about under 2,000 instances of that occurring.
Can I please respond, or are you just going to keep blabbering? Right? You're literally reading from a script that your moderators are writing. So let me respond to every single
You're
thing.
so pissed off.
Your
so
eyes
pissed
were
off.
not taken off the screen, and not only that,
because I like look. I'm always looking at the same place whenever I'm debating.
You're gonna interrupt me. You're gonna interrupt me.
Just
You're, like, you won't
let me tell you.
talk
When you
because
whine and you
won't-
like
you're
say that
so
a moderator's
scared.
telling me what to say, that's just you telling me that I fucking fried your
No,
ass. Thank you
Dean,
for telling me that I won the
no.
debate. Go ahead.
You didn't, because once again you made arguments that I was never making. Right? What I didn't say you have to prove citizenship. I said voter ID. I said that you have to prove who you are at the ballot box. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about citizenship, Dean. So if you're registered to vote, that's fine. Yeah, you have to go through the whole process to prove you're
So you don't
a
support the SAVE
citizen,
Act?
right? Can I please talk without you being interrupted?
Yeah, just
Can
at
I
the end of
please
your,
talk
at the,
without you
at
being
the end of your
interrupted?
monologue that your buddies are just texting to you as you're reading off of your second device, which is clearly true because you don't have your camera on to prove otherwise. Just like make sure that you tell me that you disagree with the SAVE Act since it disenfranchises voters.
Okay, so
and you agree
once
with what we
again
already
you
have.
interrupted. Once again you interrupted because you're so scared you're losing and you're getting fucking destroyed.
God. Oh,
So
God,
how
so
about
true.
you sit there like a little good boy and actually listen and actually debate somebody? Because you've been asking for a debate. Well, debate's been brought to you, little bitch. So listen, one
so
thing
mad.
that you're absolutely fucking wrong on is the fact that I made the comparison. If you try to go get a firearm, right, and buy a firearm, you have to show your current name and your current in the
Address.
current system, right? So you have to show an updated form of ID. Why is that not a violation of rights? But you always complain about the fact that married women are disproportionately going to get messed over and screwed over by the Save America Act because they have to. What if they changed their name and they got married? What if they lost all their documents? Well, why aren't you making the same arguments for the Second Amendment, Dean? Not only that, you were completely wrong because the prefatory clause is the context behind the right. Because what happens is there's a prefatory clause and occupational clause. The occupational clause is what the actual right is. Right? So you're just so misinformed. You don't know anything about what you're talking about. You have a good day. I just cooked you. Thank you.
If you cooked me, then you want to be leaving. Okay, that's fine. Thanks for conceding that you didn't cook shit, or else you want to be running away after you make an argument that you know is bad. The reason why people do that, for everybody watching, is because they know that the argument that they're in the process of making is a bad argument that I will be able to prove wrong. Let's go to get the next guest up here. Hey, welcome to Sport Trump.
Yo. What is up?
What's going on, man? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do. Kind of runs in the family.
I appreciate you. Yeah, how embarrassing was that for the last Trump supporter to make a bad argument and then leave before I could respond?
I think you're kind of a generational rage baiter, dude. I think you're a Democrat just for the love of the game. I'm not gonna lie.
Would you maybe understand the argument that I'm not on the left for the love of the game, but rather on the left because I like to seek truth?
I got you. The politics, they're pretty twisted.
I'm still just laughing at that last guy. What kind of fucking idiot's gonna come up here, make an argument, and then like leave before they allow the other person to respond to the argument in a debate? I think that it's like very similar to like what like toddlers do. Like if you're a parent, you know this, like your toddler's going to get like really upset and then they're going to like slap you in your leg, but then they're going to like run away because they know after they slap you in your leg that like you're going to get them. You're going to put them in check, right? You know, you're going to put them in the corner for like 10 minutes. You're going to put them in timeout. So they try to run away from the punishment. I think that guy was trying to run away from the punishment that I was about to give him to his terrible, absolutely atrocious argument that made no sense. But why don't you go to take it away and tell us why you support Trump, sir?
Okay, so it runs in the family a little bit, veteran family, you know. The family member in the war since, you know, the Civil War. And, you know, I love my rights. I love my Second Amendment. I love my freedom. And I just wanted to be educated a little more on this bill that we're talking about.
Wait, what did you just say about the Civil War?
Oh, I've had a family member fought in every single war since the Civil War.
Yeah, what side did they fight on in the Civil War?
I don't know.
That's a really important thing to know. But I guess let's just go ahead.
We've been serving the country.
That's a really important thing to know.
Yeah, that's out of my time.
So listen, you said that you support Trump because of 2A. Donald Trump is a terrible president for the Second Amendment. He's a terrible president for all of your constitutional rights. He does not care about any of them. Please stop fucking wiggling your phone on just hold it in the air.
My fans on. I'll turn it off.
So the reason why Donald Trump is a terrible president for your Second Amendment rights, in fact, all of your constitutional rights, is because he doesn't care about them in the slightest. In December of 2022, he called for the termination of the Constitution, including all of its rules, regulations, and articles. 100 days into office, he said that he doesn't know if he has to hold by the Constitution. And in the first year and a half of his presidency, he is either threatened to infringe on or actually infringed on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 10th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the 22nd Amendment. So once again, if you care about your rights, liberties, and freedoms, then you would care about not wanting Trump to be president.
Okay, I got you. I was wondering about being educated more on this bill that's being passed to ban assault weapons.
There's no bill that's being passed to ban ARs. I'm just saying that I hypothetically support that bill with the right pretenses.
I got you. So if that was to happen, and would that just ban the sale of assault weapons, or would they take our assault weapons?
Just ban the sale of them.
Okay. So you would ban the sale of a legal U.S. citizen of getting an assault weapon, but people still want to register
new ARs. It'd ban the sale of new ARs.
I know, but that just wouldn't work, right?
Why would this not work? Wait, I'm so sorry. I'm not here to debate something that I hypothetically would agree with happening in the future. I'm here to debate why you support the current president. But it would still yet overall reduce the total supply of ARs. I mean, like even in the source that last guest gave from the government, which was an updated assessment on the AR ban from the 90s, it did say that it was successful in reducing crimes with assault weapons. But the reason why he quoted it was, of course, because it also demonstrates an increase in the rise of non-banned semi-automatic with large capacity magazines being used to kill people. But that's like a whole other thing. The point is that when you ban the sale of these guns, it reduces the overall supply of these guns, which then in turn reduces the gun deaths, the death rates from firearms as a whole.
I suppose. But I like Trump because we are a war-based economy. And, you know, war is not a good thing. But when our economy is based on that and we are supposed to be, you know, we don't want to be, but we kind of are the world's government. we like to protect.
Yeah, bro. People like you literally make me want to be a communist. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
Dude,
our
dude. Like,
economy is
I
based
hear,
off
I
war,
hear
so
shit like this, and then it's just
if
like
we're
I
not in a war, we're gonna
listen.
go
Let me
into
listen to what I'm
depression
telling
and
you.
depression.
I
I
hear
got
shit
you.
like this, and then I just like spontaneously understand everything that every leftist has ever said about like us as a nation. Right? Like to say that we are a war-based economy and we necessarily need to commit war crimes and kill children overseas just so our companies could turn more corporate profit. Like, holy fucking shit, Karl Marx. Let me dab you up because, yeah, this is definitely a dystopian late-stage capitalistic future that we should not be living in. We should not say that it is a good thing to kill kids and commit war crimes so corporations can turn a profit, sir. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Okay, I'm not saying that, but there is evil in the world. You can't deny that. Like, what's happening in the Middle East right now, that is evil.
Okay, so you're saying, oh, that because we destabilized the Middle East, overthrew these governments, which led from there being Persian countries like Turkey with queens to now countries such as Afghanistan not allowing women or girls to go out in public without covering the entirety of their body and mutilating their genitalia at birth, means that we should actually go back into those countries when it was us going into those countries in the first place that destabilized them and led to those outcomes, and then kill their innocent civilians, oppressing them even more. No. The neocons in Congress have been wrong about every single foreign policy decision that they have made in the Middle East over the course of the last 75 years. Every time we've walked into the Middle East, we have left with worse outcomes for Middle Eastern people. Every time we've walked into the Middle East and we've accrued democratically elected leaders, like the leader of Iran in 1953, that just led to a violent revolution and overthrow of the oppressive IRGC. Clearly, interventionism in the Middle East for the intention of turning a profit, such as you said, because our economy is based off of it, does not include proper structures and or proper support to then allow for the people that live in those countries in the Middle East to reclaim their countries and practice and govern democratically.
Okay, the Muslim people are not stable. So their goal, no offense, they do not like Christians. They believe their religion is the one and only true religion. We're all fucking idiots. They think we should die. That is what they think. If they had a weapon of mass destruction,
I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
they would use it. Those
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry. You're just wrong. You're saying that, because they think that their religion is one true religion, that therefore they think everybody who doesn't practice that religion should die. Okay? Do Christians think? Do Christians think?
That is our amendment right to have our own.
Do Christians think that Christianity is the one true religion?
Technically, yeah.
Are you a Christian?
Not necessarily. I believe, but I'm not a Christian.
Okay, do Christians want everybody to go to heaven? Oh, wow. He actually got a flag that I had to remove him for. He got a flag for harassment and bullying, probably because of his statements about Muslims. I really wish that he didn't get removed so I could have cooked him in that argument. I really fried somebody on Jubilee that was arguing that same position. Let's go to get the next guest, Sophia, loaded up inside of that box. Over on Venmo, thank you so much, Valentina, for the $10. Who says, so sorry for trolling you. I love you so much. Boo, I'm sorry. I condemn the trolling. Emma, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you, Emma. Olivia with the $10 drops a little heart. I appreciate you so much. All the love in the world to you. Thank you, Andrew, for the $5, as well as Brent with the $5 as well. Michaela with the 5 and Olivia with the 5. Thank you guys so much. Jay with the 5 and Kate with the 5. Thank you guys so much. And with all that being said, we're caught up on Venmo. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hi, Dean. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Are you a Trump supporter?
All the way.
Are you trolling me? Just please tell me if you are. I just don't want my time to be wasted.
I'm not gonna waste your time, Dean.
How old are you?
But I'm 19, born 2016. Oh my god, October 19th. Did I say 16? I meant 6. Wait. I don't know what I'm saying.
Maybe I'll just toss it up to nervousness for now. Why do you support Trump?
Well. Wait, sorry. I can't talk. You know what, just get me out of here. I can't talk.
Okay. Kay, thank you so much for the motorcycle on TikTok. I really appreciate you. That's very kind of you, Kay. That's very kind of you, Kay. As well as Addison, Adddyson. Thank you so much for the $14. I appreciate you, Addison. That's very kind of you. Let's get 100 Addison W's. He says, it's my first time watching your stream, but as a person who spent their entire life in Wyoming and constantly surrounded by Trump supporters, it's nice to hear things that aren't just praise about Trump and realize the facts and reality of what he's done. I'm so sad and disheartened to overhear that Wyoming has been overruled by Trump supporters because it is such a beautiful state. Lord T, thank you for the $10 who says that last caller could vote. Let they sink in. Religions are stupid and counterproductive to humanity. All right, well, yeah, listen, I don't personally hold on to a completely anti-theist view. I kind of just advocate for people to practice them benevolently. That's what I believe in. Welcome in, Madison. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
What year are you born in?
2008.
Okay, yikes. Why do you support Trump?
I'd like to have a kind of a counter argument on the environmental factors.
What?
On the environmental factors, I know
Do you support him
most...
because of his impact on the environment?
No, it's more of a counter argument against him with his environmental factors that he's had on America.
So you'd like to tell me why you think he's been bad for the environment? Is that what you're saying?
No, how... So people say that Trump is affecting the environment very
True that.
negatively.
True that.
But this is the thing. Even if America decided to stop doing what people say is bad to the environment, it wouldn't have as big of a difference because other
Why are you
countries
cracking
like-
up? Are you trolling or something?
No, I'm not. It's because other
Then why are you
countries like
cra-
China,
then why are
Iran,
you cracking up in the middle of you trying to make an argument?
because I'm nervous. These
Okay, go on.
countries, okay, these countries already put such a negative impact on the ozone layer and stuff that even if America decided to try to stop doing their environmental stuff, it would not make a difference.
Well, it would make a difference, just it wouldn't make a big difference because of all the other countries that don't give a shit.
Yes, exactly. It would
We are the United States of America. We own the finish line, as Joe Biden said. We're the largest country in the world militarily and economically speaking. We have the most influence over foreign policy as it relates to every other country in the face of planet Earth. The ability through diplomacy for America to effectively govern and change the policy of other countries is immense, and it exists, right? So I think that because of that reason, we should be the example for the rest of the world to follow. We should set the status quo for what it means to impose good environmental regulations, and then we should advocate for other countries to do the same. And I think the reason why we haven't seen other countries catch up to us by following these same environmental regulations is because we haven't been as pushy against these other countries.
But even if we did do that, the countries wouldn't follow. I'm sorry for interrupting, but even if we did the right thing,
that's
the
why
other
we give them
countries
incentive
would not
structures to follow them. That's why we give them
They
incentive
wouldn't
structures to
follow it,
follow them.
though.
We have trade with like a bunch of other countries, and through trade gives us the ability to manage soft power. If we were to have conditional
would not
allyship
be-
and
America
specific
wouldn't be
trade,
able to
can you allow me to
sustain the-
finish speaking?
They wouldn't be able to sustain
Can you allow
the
me to
human
finish speaking? I was in
population.
the middle of my sentence. Can I finish my sentence, Madison?
Sure.
Thanks, Madison. If we were to have like conditional trade and allyship with other countries predicated upon a universal and global agreement as it relates to environmental regulation, and we were to impose this in a sense that we say in the long term, if you don't slowly advocate and progress pointed towards this change, well, then we are going to cut off trade with you or going to drop our allyship with you, or there's going to be negative repercussions. We could absolutely set the global footprint for what it means to be a good country for this world's environment, and we should absolutely be concerned with doing so. Okay, but then you also arguing that, well, because this isn't something that we've already done, because this isn't something that we're in the process of working on, and because other countries have massive carbon footprints, that therefore we shouldn't care about our own carbon footprint, is also very terrible. Because not only, okay, does environmental regulation protect the world's carbon footprint and the world's ecosystem, but it also protects it on a local level. Like, one of the reasons why Donald Trump is bad for the environment isn't just because of allowing companies to engage in more carbon emissions or supporting oil and gas and coal to a higher degree than we've seen previous administrations in the past, but also like relinquishing like clean water protections from the EIA, meaning that there's now local communities across America that don't have clean water to drink. And now we see houses popping up around data centers where they're basically drinking fucking dirt. Okay, so should we say that it's okay for people in America to drink dirt if they live around data centers because China has a big carbon footprint? Absolutely fucking not. That's outrageously dumb.
And this is the thing, I'm not denying to you that what Trump is doing is harmful to the environment. Yes, it is harmful to the environment, but even if he decided to stop doing this and put towards trying to create stuff for better water and stuff, as you're saying, it wouldn't be a difference. There's still other countries who are doing so much worse. America they get inputs. It's not logic. It's not logic that America wastes so much money on trying to be better when other countries are doing so much more that are way more negatively affecting the environment.
You didn't listen to a single word that I said. When you say that other countries are doing worse and it outweighs the benefit from the US, you're talking about particular global ecological factors, such as overall global carbon footprint. There are many environmental regulations that Donald Trump has removed that are not concerned to global ecological factors, such as the global carbon footprint, but rather concerned to local ecological factors, such as if water is clean.
Then what do you think about when Biden said he had one of the part of the plans
please
would
respond?
be that
I don't want you to bring up something that Biden said. I want you to respond specifically to the thing that I just said about how there's a difference between global ecological factors and local ecological factors. And some of the regulations that he has removed are not concerned with global ecological factors like carbon footprint, but local ecological factors like clean water.
it's just not logic. I'm sorry,
Okay,
it's
not logic. It's not a rebuttal to the statement I made. Do you feel like providing a genuine good faith rebuttal to the statement I made?
If we locally can fix things, yes, that's great. But as United States, if everyone came together, it's just not everyone would be willing to do that. Not everyone's willing to put forth to that. So putting so much effort into it, it doesn't make sense.
Why does
It's
it not make
unfortunate.
sense to ensure that Americans drink clean water?
But Americans are drinking clean water right now. Even if you're
Obviously, you haven't seen the Senate hearings. Obviously, you haven't seen the Senate hearings on water surrounding data centers in America. Obviously, you're not too familiar with Flint, Michigan. And honestly, the industrialization or the reindustrialization.
Michigan has beautiful clear lakes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so when people want a cup of water, they don't go down to their local fucking lake with a glass and pick it up. No, they turn their sink on.
They can buy a
and that's why we're
filtering
consumed
machine.
with like lead piping.
Or what about if we tried to make a environmental thing? They said that there'd be no gas ovens in America anymore. You can look it up. That was part of it, that gas ovens would be removed. There's people who can't afford that. Like, it's unlogic. There's just unlogic ideas. America
Unlogic
making a
ideas.
little different. America
Unlogic
making
ideas.
unlogical ideas.
So, I mean, I'm not particularly too concerned with banning gas ovens. I'm sure in the long term.
Exactly. I agree. Exactly. It's unlogical.
But like, why is it not logical to advocate for future prospects on banning gas ovens? Like, yeah, I think that we
people
should make
can't
a switch to
afford this.
electric.
People can't afford that.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that gas ovens are like significantly more expensive than electric ovens in the sense of what's the cost of maintenance and long-term use. Like, I definitely think that propane is a little
People
bit more
would have
costly.
to convert their house.
I think that propane is a little bit more costly than electric. Like 110%. Like, I don't even
People would
need
have
to
to
like
convert their house. This is a new thing that people would have to convert their house.
you have to convert your house to plug something into the wall.
You have to.
You have to
with the
convert your
gas?
house.
Yes, with the gas.
No, you just leave the gas hookup there. You just don't use it because you buy an electric oven.
I do not think it works
like,
that
bro,
way.
you're like, why?
But
Like,
do you
why
get
do you
my
why
point?
why do you need like a
get my
remodel?
point of what
You
I'm
don't need
trying
to
to
you don't
say?
need to spend like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to like retrofit a house by removing its gas inputs if you just don't use the gas inputs. Like, like, there's no way that like an electric oven even uses over like a 240 volt connection. Like,
Okay, but you have to.
if
you
the
have to
house doesn't
understand-
already have that, then you just like pay an electrician to install it for like $2,000 or $3,000. And because this is being pushed for by the federal government, well, then we give a tax credit for that the same way we give tax credits for EVs in many senses. How
Okay,
about
but
this?
you
I still
understand
haven't,
what
you
I'm
still haven't
saying
told
with-
me why you support Trump as president. So why do you support Trump as president?
Because he's doing a perfectly fine job. There's been. Yes, there
Perfectly
is
fine
some
job,
things that
actually.
are. There are some things that aren't great, obviously, but also with the immigration, I do not support the way that he's doing it. But I think that he is getting people out of he is getting not good people out of America. But of course, I agree with families being together. I do not think he is doing it the right way at all.
Uh-huh.
I agree with I have multiple different
Can I ask you a question?
like ideas. I think that abortion should be allowed. I agree with women's rights.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So we find an undocumented immigrant that's a rapist. What should happen to them?
If someone's a rapist,
An
then they
undocumented
should
immigrant is a rapist.
send them back to their country.
So what if like a bunch of blue-haired liberals try to protect that undocumented immigrant that's a rapist, and they were like telling ICE to go away, not to arrest them? What would you say about the nature of the character of those blue-haired liberals?
They're just normal people trying to stick up for a rapist.
And that's like pretty.
It doesn't
insane.
matter that it doesn't matter they're liberal. It doesn't matter they.
Well, like what are what are
Everyone's
your
people.
what
People
are your
are
thoughts on
people.
those like? Just answer the question. What are your thoughts on the blue hair wokey communist liberals sticking up for that undocumented rapist, telling the ICE agents to go away, blowing their whistles at them and telling them not to deport them? Would you say
I don't
that,
agree
like,
with that.
And you'd say that the nature of like their character is probably like misled.
Their
because
character
they're
doesn't
literally
matter though.
sticking up for
People are
rapists?
people.
Well,
People
we're
are
talking
people.
about the
It
character of
doesn't
these people.
matter
Just
they're
dude, just
liberal.
answer the question. Will you say that the character of these people sticking up for the rapists is like probably like pretty bad?
Yes.
Okay. So if there's an undocumented immigrant and they're a rapist, they should be removed from the country. And if there's a
Yes.
liberal that disagrees with that and sticks up for the undocumented rapist, then the nature of their character is bad. So what would you have to say about the fact that Donald Trump is a rapist? Not only do you think he shouldn't
Donald
be
Trump
removed
is
from
a
the
rapist.
country,
I agree.
but he should
I
be
agree
able to
with
run
you.
the country. And you're not just sticking up for him in the sense that you don't want him to be expelled from the country. You're defending him in the sense that you think he should run the country. Does this mean that you self-admit that your character is bad?
I don't agree with Trump as a person. I agree with his ideas. I do not
Okay.
agree with Trump as
Hey,
a person. I agree
hey,
with his ideas. I do not
Hey,
agree.
hey,
I
wait,
agree
wait,
with
wait,
him he's a
wait, wait,
rapist.
wait. So when you say you don't agree with Trump as a person, but you agree with his ideas, when you say his ideas, are you saying this person's ideas?
Not him as a person. No, I do
But
not.
but
like
when
Trump,
you say
but
you
I
agree with his
his
ideas,
side.
you're
I
saying you
with his
agree with
Republican ideas.
Trump's personal ideas. So the ideas of the person is what you agree with. The ideas of the rapist.
Not every idea. You're putting it a way that it's not.
Well, here's what I'd say. I don't think that if you're willing to rape a woman, you should ever be in public office, because you just are simply demonstrated as being incompatible with public service. Because public service, as defined as a service for others, in order to be able to provide a service for others, you must be able to care about others. But how can you care about others if you're literally willing to rape them?
Do you think Bill Clinton should have stayed in office?
Do I think... Well, by today's standards, absolutely. He lied. That's what he got impeached for, was lying. By today's standard, Bill Clinton absolutely should have stayed in office. Are you kidding me? We impeached Bill Clinton for lying, but now after
So what's
Donald
the
Trump
difference?
has what's the difference between lying and raping somebody? What's the difference between telling a lie and raping someone?
What evidence?
The outcome of a court case?
They did not have any evidence, by the way.
Is that why the Supreme Court last week upheld the ruling that he raped her? 6-3 conservative-leaning Supreme Court?
That's just what you're saying.
No, that's what happens. If you don't think that there's any evidence that he's a rapist, then why did you agree less than 5 minutes ago that he is a rapist?
Because he went into the dressing rooms and looked at naked people.
No, that's not what made him a rapist. What made him a rapist was going into E. Jean Carroll's dressing room and forcefully penetrating her vagina with his fingers.
Thank you for the debate today.
Okay.
We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame.
Hey, Madison, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you know how long I stream every day?
Today you're streaming for about 3 hours. You used to end it early.
Yeah, you've been up here for like 20 minutes. Right?
Right.
Right. So do you like just think it's okay? Do you just think there's not that big of a deal with maybe taking 20 minutes away from me that I could have rather spent?
No, I
changing
genuinely
the true
learned a
Trump
lot
supporters'
today.
line?
I genuinely learned a lot today. I have
So you
my
weren't
mom who's
trolling-
her
you weren't
side of the family's Democratic, my
you
dad's
weren't-
side of the family's
weren't
Republican.
trolling-
I would like to find my place.
So you weren't trolling with the arguments that you're making?
No, I was genuinely learning off of you.
Oh, so you just started singing because you didn't know what to say?
Yeah.
Okay, Madison. Let's go to get that next guest connected. Okay, she wasn't even a troll. She just started singing for no fucking reason. Okay. What a weirdo. I feel like we're getting some really weird guests today.
Yo, Dean.
What up, dude? You support Trump, Tyson?
I do.
Give me one moment, bro. Celeste, thank you so much for the $20 donation on VidMode 5 minutes ago, who says, here's my campaign contribution for Dean 2040. Celeste, you are awesome. Thank you so very much for the $20. Show some massive love to Celeste down below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. Madison, thank you for the 1 penny, who says, is this a real Dean Withers? It sure is. Ashley, thank you for the $10. And then Allie with a $1. I appreciate you guys. We're all caught up on Venmo. On PayPal, thank you so very much for the, let's see here, $100. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Veronica, for the $100 donation. That is fucking ridiculous, Veronica. That is so much money. I don't deserve a penny of it. You are so incredibly kind. Thank you so much for the love and support. I am beyond grateful for you. Thank you so very much. Let's get 1,000 Veronica W's in that chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do show some massive, massive love to Veronica down below in that comment section. That is insane. I'm so very grateful for you. Veronica with $100 says, hey, it's me again. I just wanted to say that I love what you do, and just you generally. You are the reason why I'm up to date and know what other people are thinking. Like that lady that said there's hundreds of continents. Well, Veronica, I'm so very grateful for the love. Genuinely, you are an incredibly kind-hearted and very generous person, and I'm very grateful for not just the donation, but also the incredibly kind words. Let's get 1,000 Veronica W's in the comment section, because that is genuinely fucking insane. Thank you so very much. Hector with a 10 says, first time ever donating. Have you ever debated Divine Order on TikTok? He debates abortion. Yeah, I've debated Divine a lot. We've known each other for years, just because of how many times we've ran into one another. Haven't debated him recently, though. Kyla, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you so much. My friend's Dad believes that cigarettes are good for him, thinks that they can cure my type 1 diabetes with my diet, and thinks that the earth is flat. Thanks for all you do. Oh my goodness, that is terrible. Wow. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and start the next debate. By the way, if you're watching and you're kind of like, hey, I like this Dean guy. Hey, I like these streams. I like what he does. You can support this Dean guy. You can support me. You could ask me a question. You could get a message across through the link tree in my bio, where you could find my Venmo and my PayPal. You could also find them in the pinned message over on that YouTube stream, as well as the handles on the top of the phone screen on TikTok. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in my last name, Withers. Just make sure that you're quadruple checking the spelling of that handle, because there are a bunch of fake scamming Dean Withers accounts out there. Tyson, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Okay, well, thanks for being honest, man. I'm not going to ban you because I don't have the rules up on the phone screen, but you do have to be at least 18 to join. There's like a bunch of people that were spamming unicorns in my comment section on TikTok, so I took a look into it. I forget his name. It's like this Peyton guy. What's his name? It's like the Peyton guy that made a video saying that Lily Tino is a he, him. And he got like pushback for it or whatever. I don't know, like Peyton Piper or whatever. Yeah, then I found a clip. Of this Peyton Piper figure with like this random other lady who I guess has a couple million followers that I don't fucking know. And then Mar, you know, the person who would troll her streams. And they were all like keying on a TikTok live saying that like I just do this for like money and I'm super performative. Like Mar, Peyton, and then this other person. Yeah, no, that was pretty disheartening. Oh well. Let's gotta get that next guest connected. Yeah, I was super disheartened to see that. You know? Especially because I thought like I had been pretty kind to
Yo,
Mar.
what's up? I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I got a little carried away. I got in trouble, I guess.
I don't remember you, so I'm gonna kick you. You know, I thought I'd been pretty kind to Mar. You know, try to prevent people from attacking her on the internet. I've been like personally talked to her mom and like gave her free advice about how to best help, you know, her daughter out navigating social media and how to stay safe. You know, so that was a little bit unfortunate to see. That was really unfortunate to see. About Peyton and that other lady, I think her name was Paris. I don't know. They just kind of seem like interesting figures themselves, but I don't really know anything about them, so. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
We need strong alpha males like Charlie Kirk and Donald J. Trump.
That was really good. And I think the reason why that was nearly accurate is because it's like literally a 10-year-old. It was pretty accurate. There's literally a 10-year-old dude. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, everybody. That's really funny. That's really funny. That's pretty hilarious. That's pretty hilarious. Let's go to get the next guest, McKinsey. Load it up into the box. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Here we go, everybody. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Low effort. Moving on to the next guest, folks. Only opposite side of the queue if you do happen to be MAGA, everybody. Only opposite side of the queue if you do happen to be MAGA, everybody. We are just looking for some debates today. We got Thunder Buster loaded up inside of the box. Here we go. Hey, do you support Trump?
We are Charlie Kirk.
We got Alexis loading up inside of the box. Here we go. Hey, do you support Trump?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Do you support Trump?
I'm like frozen. I can't hear or see you, so.
You can't hear anything that I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave because I'm like really frozen right now.
Okay, feel free to. Well, if you could hear me again now, feel free to hop back inside of that queue. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, everybody. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, y'all. We are just looking for that next guest. Everybody. Only up inside of the queue if you do happen to be MAGA. I'd really appreciate y'all so much if you could follow the rules. Please and thank you. We got Juice connecting right now. Here we go, everyone. Hey, do you support Trump?
Yes, I support Trump.
How old are you?
18,
What year are you born in?
2007,
Okay, what month?
September.
Okay. Yeah, that maths. Do you think that you could possibly unplug any Bluetooth devices that you're talking to me through? We'd just be able to hear you a lot better. If not, it's okay.
No, I don't have a Bluetooth device.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We could still hear you. Give me one moment to thank a couple people, then the floor will be yours. Lilith, thank you for the $10. She says, how's Momo? Momo's doing great. She hasn't made too many appearances recently, but that's because I've started to close my studio door. Sophie, thank you for the $10. Who says, genuinely enjoy your stream so much. Well, thank you, Sophie. I'm so happy to hear that you enjoy what we do. Katie, thank you for the $5. Angelica, thank you for the $5 saying, fuck Trump, let's go. And Madeline, thank you for the $20. My God. Thank you so much, Madeline. That is Madelyn. Thank you so very much for your kindness. Please do show some love to Madeline down below in that comment section. Over on PayPal, appreciate you so much for the $1, Brandon. And Allie, thank you for the $5. And with that being said, we're all good to go. Go ahead and take it away and tell us how the hell you still support Trump.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I support Trump.
I know. I asked you why.
Oh, why? Well, I mean, I guess when you just like think about all the other presidential candidates, like he's the only one.
So you thought that he was better than Kamala Harris?
Well, yeah. Haven't you ever heard like boys go to college to get more knowledge, and girls go to Jupiter to get.
Moving on to the next guest, only opposite side of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. We got the next guest loading up into the box right now. Here we go, everybody. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be here for a debate, please and thank you. Make sure that you are following the rules of the live stream. Hey, do you support Trump? Joel? Are you here? Are you with us? Are you present? Are you present, Joel? Apparently not. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Bro, by the way, that PFP was AI. PFP was AI. Hey, welcome to Do You Support Trump, Charles?
I'm a phenomenal black woman.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Charles Wild. 55-year-old white man with a scruffy, grain beard.
Hi, okay,
for
my
telling
dad
us how
wants
you
to
are
go.
a
Wait, hold up.
phenomenal black woman. Stella, hi, okay. How old are you?
Wait, my dad wants to go.
I know. I just have to ask you. How old are you? I understand that you're
Why?
probably under 18. But could you just tell us how old you are?
I don't want to say, cause
Are you under the age of 16?
no.
Oh wait, is this like a random like account of yours? It's not like it doesn't have you attached to it?
Yeah, it doesn't have me because I don't want myself like up here.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was gonna say, so in order for me to debate a parent on a kid's account, they have to be at least 16. But if they're under 16, like you just have to be on like some random throwaway account. So that's fine. Yeah, feel free to put your dad on.
Okay. So he's coming out in a second, but while he's like coming out, I have a question to ask you.
I'm sorry. Because of your age, I could only talk to your dad, really. So if you want to put your dad on, I'd love to have a discussion with him.
Okay, where is he at? Because he's not.
I could give you a second to look for him, but that's about it. I'm gonna give her like 10 seconds here. Okay, she just left. I think that she was lying about having her dad debate me, and she just wanted to try to find a way to ask me a question. She just left on her own. Let's go to get the next guest, Augustus Black, connected to the live stream. Only hop inside of the box if you do happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please and thank you. Hey, do you support Trump?
Yes. Oh my God! My bad. I'm sorry. That's in the background. I apologize. I'm sorry. Hello?
What was that?
I was on my tablet, and that was just I opened TikTok on my tablet. I didn't know I was next.
Yeah,
and
no
then
worries.
Someone just started screaming.
Yeah, no worries. And you said that you're a Trump supporter?
Yes. Hello, Dean. Good afternoon. My name is Augustus. I am 19. I was born in December of 2006, and yes, I am a Trump supporter.
Okay, Augustus. Why do you support Trump?
Okay, well, for a couple different reasons. Okay, number one, I think abortion is murder. Number two, I think that the whole transgenderism like movement is kind of insane, and there's only two genders. Number three, I believe in closed borders, border control. I think that if you don't have borders, you don't have a nation. Number six, I do believe in well, I'm sorry, I skipped. I have them all written down, and I'm kind of like skipping around a little bit because I want to give you like the most like prevalent ones. While I do believe in gun control, I don't think that guns are the root cause of violence in America. Number seven, I believe in capitalism. Overall, I do believe in the Make America Great Again movement. And yeah, that's kind of some of the reasons why I support Trump.
Yeah, so much to go over. First and foremost, do you mind if I ask you what your pronouns are?
He, him.
Okay, appreciate you. So to start from the top, we're going to go through every single one of those reasons. The first thing you said is that abortion is murder. Okay, why do you think abortion is murder, dude?
So I believe that abortion is murder. If you read any biology textbook, all of them will tell you that human life begins at conception. I believe that
human life begins at conception. I agree with that.
Human life begins at conception.
That's
I think
true,
that
totally. Yeah.
the only reason why people can really justify abortion is dehumanization. Like we have
Dehumanizing
to,
the fetus, sure.
yes, we have to like use language to dehumanize the child growing inside of his mother. We use words by saying like, okay, it's a fetus, it's a zygote. Instead of calling it what it is a person. You know, if I were to kill a pregnant woman, I would be charged with a double homicide because I killed her and the person growing inside of her. It is a baby. I also, I just, an abortion is a woman goes into a doctor, right? Two patients.
Do you think that we can like condense this down to like, you know,
two patients with a heartbeat go into a doctor's office and only one walks out.
Super true. With a big old smile on their face.
Which is not okay. That's not okay.
Okay. All right. So first you said that the only way to justify abortion is to dehumanize the fetus. What it means to dehumanize a life is to, I don't know, strip its humanity away. Argue that it's not a human. That's not true in the slightest. I completely acknowledge that in a biological sense, a fetus is a human being. I just don't think that their life is morally relevant. We all know that there exist containers of human beings that we are justified in killing for particular reasons. Let's go through it. What's one of these containers? Brain dead patients. What's another one of these containers? People that we have to kill and rooted within justified self-defense. What's another one of these containers? Well, if you're pro-death penalty, then people on death row. What's another one of these containers? Particular deaths in justified war, like you defending the sovereignty of your nation from the ethnic cleansing or invasion of another nation. Okay? So there already exists predefined containers that we all accept of human beings who are biologically alive that we think it's okay to kill. Well, I'm just simply adding on another container here of lives that I think it's okay to justifiably terminate, and that would be the human life of a fetus. For the first reason, I don't think that that life has moral value because it doesn't have the ability to deploy sentience or first-person subjective experiences that emerge at around 20 through 24 weeks, and B, it's infringing on that woman's bodily autonomy, taking her bodily resources without consent, and holding a domicile in her uterus without consent.
Okay. I would like to respond. Okay. We understand. I think that the being growing inside of its mother is a baby. It is a child.
Yeah, bro, I don't care what you call it. You could call it a baby. You could call it a child. Your words don't change my argument.
Okay, absolutely. What I'm saying is it is wrong to terminate the life of a human being who is a child just because you're not ready to be a mother. If you jump into a pool, you're going to get wet. If you get into a boxing match, you're going to get hit. So if you are partaking in the act that leads to procreation, which is having sex, you don't then get to say, well, I don't want to be pregnant.
You actually just made a really good point. So if you were to start,
I believe that a woman should have so much autonomy over her own body.
Listen, you just made a really good point.
Okay.
The good point that you just made is you said if you're gonna walk into a boxing match, then you're gonna get hit. Okay. So take Jake Paul for instance. He walked into a boxing match. He got hit, and that hit fucking broke his jaw. Are you saying because Jake Paul knew that that was a potential negative outcome of consenting to walking into that boxing match, yet he still did consent to walk into that boxing match, that he should have been legally prevented by seeking medical treatment to remedy that issue?
Okay, medical treatment is to save a life. Abortion is taking a life. There is a difference, right?
Oh, okay. To clarify, if you think that medical treatment is to save a life and abortion is taking a life, so in certain particular scenarios of ectopic pregnancies where a woman needs to get a medical abortion or else she will die because that ectopic pregnancy will kill her, do you not think that that is a medical service?
Oh, that is a medical service.
But it's taking a life. But it's taking a life, dude. Okay. So you just accepted that sometimes medical services can absolutely take lives. Thanks for the concession.
Okay, but she is having that abortion not because she just wants to kill her child.
Does it change the fact that it's still taking a life? Does that change the fact that it's still taking a life? No, that does not change the fact that it's still taking a life.
It's taking a life to save a human life.
Okay, so you think that it is still medical? It is still a medical service if we can justify the termination of that life. The same way I think we could justify the termination of the life of the fetus before 20 through 24 weeks because it doesn't have the ability to deploy first-person subjective experiences. Here's a question for you: do you think that abortion in the circumstance of a rape victim is wrong?
I believe that two things can be true at once. I believe that, first off, a woman should never be violated. And I think that if a woman is violated and then she does end up pregnant, I do believe that the being growing inside of her is like real, is valid. Like if you hold up the picture of a person who was conceived in rape and someone who wasn't conceived in rape, you can't tell the difference. But I also don't think it's fair for that woman to have to give birth to a child that when she was raped and then have to look at the face of her rapist for 18 years. I don't think that that's fair to the woman. So I do believe that that is one of the situations to where we can allow an exceptions. But if I can see that, we can allow abortion for rape victims and, incest and things of that nature, would you also concede that we should not allow abortion for women who engage in consensual sex and then end up pregnant? If you're going to open your legs to God knows who and then you end up pregnant, that's your fault. You should choose to be more careful. As a woman, if you are a woman, all females of every species are the mothers. They are the ones who give birth.
Okay, sir, you're really yappy. Just try to condense your reasons into shorter sentences.
I am. Please don't interrupt me. The female body is designed to carry life and give life. Women have a uterus, women have breasts in order to nurse their child after they have been born. So I believe that our culture promotes women to be promiscuous, and then when the consequences of their promiscuity results in them getting pregnant, they don't want to face the consequences of that promiscuity. You can't do what a man can do. You can't just go out here and sleep with all of these different guys and then decide you want to kill your baby because you don't want to be a mom. You can't do that. It's not right. It's just not right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I appreciate you for finally being honest about what the pro-life movement stands for. I honestly think that there's too many pro-lifers just farting around saying that they care about banning abortion to save the innocent life of the unborn. But you finally were just honest with us. You don't give a fuck about the life of the unborn. You rather care about punishing and controlling women and girls who uphold different values than you do as it relates to romance, intimacy, and sex. You think that they're doing a bad thing by engaging in sex without an intention to reproduce because you think that that action is promiscuous as incentivized by a woke society. And then you think that they need to face consequences for that promiscuous action by then having that pregnancy and childbirth forced on them, which in turn also fucking punishes the kid. Because when we ban abortion, we reshift the family dynamic away from incentivizing well-off adults who want to start a family that consent to having children into forcing 18 and 19 and 20-year-old boys and girls, men and women into becoming moms and dads, thereby subjecting the child to a worse off life or throwing them in the foster care system, which is worse off as a whole, just because you think that the woman specifically was being quote-unquote promiscuous. I don't care. Listen, let me clarify this. Let me clarify this. You spoke for like 3 minutes. I'm going to speak for more than 30 seconds. I don't care if a woman is getting an abortion because of failed birth control, condoms, and contraceptives at 55 years old after she's been married to the same man for the last 30 years of her life, or because it's an 18-year-old party girl that went out and had sex at a frat house on a Friday night at CU Boulder. Because at the end of the day, regardless of the causal chain of the sequence of events that led to that unwanted pregnancy, this does not change the fact that I don't grant that fetus moral value, nor does that change the fact that it's not a pregnancy wanted by the woman, meaning it's infringing on her bodily autonomy, meaning I think that she should absolutely retain the legal right to access abortion. Because in that scenario, the abortion is the saving fucking grace. If you are going to paint all of these, promiscuous, reckless, not thinking about the consequences of their actions, women and girls, as really stupid and irresponsible, well, then why would you want to force these quote-unquote stupid and irresponsible women and girls to be moms to the next generation?
Okay, let me respond to that. There is so much to unpack. First off, one of the arguments for people who support abortion is that the mom is going to be a bad mom. The child is going to have a bad life. Maybe they can't afford it. The foster care system
It's
is
not
really
my argument. My argument is that the life of the fetus
hold on.
doesn't matter, and the woman retains her right to bodily autonomy because of that. You've responded to just about every other argument for why people are pro-choice, except for mine.
When you spoke, okay, but regardless of whether or not you think that my argument is invalid or not, I believe that we should have a respectful debate. And like, as you asked me not to interrupt you, I'm asking you not to.
Sure, that's fair. All that I'm doing is I'm just asking you to respond to my argument.
I will try to be very concise in concise and articulate, but let's also acknowledge that the majority of people that you have debated so far have been trolls or like people who are like 10 years old. And I'm like very serious, and I do want to have this conversation. But like I said, a lot of women, okay, they will say that abortion is okay because what if the mom can't afford it, this, that, and the third. I believe that even if the mother cannot afford it, even if the child is going to have a shitty life, I think that having a bad life is better than having no life at all. I think even if they go in the foster care system and they're going to be super traumatized and a lot of bad things are going to happen to them, guess what? That's life. You can't have good without dark. You can't have, light without dark or good without bad. Shit happens sometimes. And as they become an adult, they're going to be able to turn their life around and make something of themselves. And I think that maybe having a shitty upbringing is better off than being dead. On top of that, yes, actions have consequences. I think.
By the way, you said you think that a bad life is better than no life at all. I think that a bad counter argument is better than no counter argument at all. I will happily address everything that you just said, but you're completely avoiding the argument that I gave you. My argument is that abortion is not wrong because I don't value the life of the fetus, because it doesn't have the ability to deploy sentience, and the woman retains her right to bodily autonomy. So far in this debate, you've addressed about 1 billion different straw man positions on why abortion would be permissible. You said, maybe abortion is permissible because a fetus is going to have a bad life. Maybe the abortion is going to be permissible because the woman's going to be a bad mother.
sentient?
Oh, maybe the abortion's going to be permissible because they should retain the right to bodily autonomy.
What do you
Oh, maybe the abortion's
classify
going to be
as
permissible because they didn't consent to this action. They didn't cause the outcome of the pregnancy. All of these arguments are not arguments that I have made. You were responding to generic pro-choice arguments that are like repeated by like I don't know, like the average American on like Reddit and social media on fucking like Snapchat stories. But what you're not doing is you're not responding to the argument that I made. What I'm going to ask you to do is to please respond to the argument that I made, not that anybody else made, not that you think people are making online, not what you think. I want you to respond to the argument that I made.
Just because this being does not, we define sentience, right, as a being that is capable, well, I would define sentience as a being that is capable of thought and reason. It is capable of forming its own opinions, expressing those opinions, partaking in activities. It's capable of, in a way, being sort of independent, right? But at the end of the day, this is still a member of the human species, and I don't think that women should be able to like literally kill their child just because it suits them. I don't believe that women should have that much autonomy over their own body that they should be able to do that. And I think that the whole pro-choice argument is women having autonomy over their body, but you're making a decision that is not affecting your body. It is affecting the life of the fetus growing inside of you. If a woman is pregnant with a baby boy, she doesn't have a penis. The child inside of her has a penis. And therefore, if she is getting an abortion, she is not the one that's being harmed in that procedure. The innocent child growing inside of her is the one being harmed in that procedure. And I don't think that that's right. And also, actions do have consequences.
You've already said this all. Can I respond now? You've already said this all. You're starting to lose.
Okay.
First argument. You said that the fetus is being harmed. I don't think that you harm a rock when you break it in half, and I don't think that you harm the microbes living in your gut when you have a big meal, and I don't think that you harm the bacteria growing on your teeth when you brush them. Okay? I don't think that all life is capable of being harmed. I only think that valuable life is capable of being harmed. Because what harm would be a frustration of one's interests. And a necessary prerequisite of interest would be sentience, okay? Because it lacks sentience, it lacks a necessary prerequisite for interests. Therefore, its interest can't be frustrated. Therefore, it can't be harmed. But the big point that I want to make here is you're telling me that you think that it's valuable because it's a member of the human species. Here's my question to you. Do you therefore think that when doctors pull the plugs on brain dead patients in the hospital, they are engaging in the action of murder because they are terminating intentionally the life of a member of the human species?
Well, so when you are in the hospital and you are sick and you are on any sort of life support and your organ systems are shutting down, you are alive because you are on like life support from the doctor. So technically you're already dead, I think. The life is ending on its own. If you're brain dead, there's only so long that you're going to be able to survive on those systems. If you have if your organ systems are shutting down, if you are actively in the process of dying, there's only so much life support and medications that the doctor.
I'm so sorry. You're just really yapping.
So you're just
really yapping. Do you think that it's murder when the doctor pulls the plug on a brain dead patient or not?
Well, they're brain dead. They're already dead.
Okay, so that's not true. On a biological level, they are alive.
Okay, so let me ask you this, okay?
After you answer my question, please.
You gave your definition of harm, right? You said when you break a rock in half, you would not.
Listen, I'm sorry. I want an answer to my question. We have lost 6,000 viewers. We have lost 6,000 viewers since you started talking because you're yapping and you're not answering questions and you're just going on monologues. I want an answer to the question. Do you think that it is murder when a doctor pulls the plug on a brain dead patient in the hospital?
I consider murder to be the unjust taking of a human life. I don't think that is murder, but I do think that it is killing.
Perfect. All right, awesome. So you don't think that it's murder to kill a brain dead patient without the consent of the brain dead patient because they can't actuate that consent because they're brain dead, even though the brain dead patient is a member of the human species. This gives you an issue with your view as it relates to abortion. The issue that this gives with your view is that you argued that it's murder to kill the fetus because the fetus is a human that's alive. But then you said it's not murder to kill the brain dead patient, even though the brain dead patient is a human and alive. So this means that you stating that because the fetus is a human alive, therefore it's wrong to kill it, is in all reality not a sound argument due to the fact that you think those two traits of being a human that's alive are not sufficient for moral deservance to constitute your death as unjust. Meaning that you've not given me sufficient reason to believe that it's wrong to kill the life of a fetus.
Well,
if you don't understand the last argument I gave you, ask me to repeat it in a way that's
plug-
easier to understand, and I'll happily do so.
if you pull the plug on someone who is brain dead, okay, so this person's laying in the hospital bed, they're sick, they're brain dead, they have no function in their brain, they're not going to be able to enjoy their life, right? If they're brain dead today, they're going to be brain dead for the next day, the day after that. There's literally nothing that they can do versus the being that's growing inside of its mother. It is developing, it's growing, it's going to be able to grow up and have experiences. Like they're brain dead. Their life has already been.
Yeah, listen. Okay, so you're saying that the reason why abortion is wrong is because it prevents the future existence of an individual like you or I?
Of the human species, yes, absolutely. And why? No.
Okay, perfect. So if you're arguing,
I can justify killing if there is a reason behind killing. If someone breaks into your home with the intention to rape you and kill you and your family, and you take their life, it is justified. But if you partook in an activity that led to procreation,
I'm just trying to determine what your argument is, dude. Are you saying that the reason why abortion is wrong is because it prevents the future existence of an individual like you or I?
For no reason, yes.
Okay. Do you think it's wrong for men to pull out?
Do I think that's different, Dean?
Answer the question. Is it wrong for men to pull out?
But you're conflating two things that don't go
dude, is it wrong for men to pull out? If your dad pulled out, okay, next question. This is a dialogue tree. This is a dialogue tree. You just said it wouldn't have been wrong for your dad to pull out. Next question. It's time for the next question, Augustus. Next question, Augustus. If your dad pulled out, would you be here today?
Pulling out is not.
If your dad pulled out, would you be here today?
Pulling out is not.
If your dad pulled out, would you be here today?
We agree.
Augustus, if your dad pulled out, would you be here today?
No, I would not. But that's
so your dad pulled. So just true or false. This is the last. It's a dialogue tree. I'm sorry. I have to be like super mean, and I have to interrupt you, and I have to scream over you because what I'm doing is I'm building a dialogue tree. And when you build a dialogue tree, it's important to give fast answers to the questions. And I know that I can't trust you to do that because when I don't interrupt you and I just allow you to speak as much as you want, you end up speaking for 5 minutes. Okay, here's the culmination of my argument.
5 minutes or 10 minutes. At least I
Can
came on here and I'm saying
I tell you
something.
that? Can I tell you
The
the
other
cumulative
people that you're
conclusion of
debating,
the
they're not
dialogue
talking
tree that
about
I just
shit.
gave you? Can I tell you the conclusion of the dialogue tree that I just ran on you?
And you've been talking over me, so now I want to speak. If you pulling out of someone during intercourse and aborting a child are not the same thing. We just acknowledge that human life begins at conception. So if human life begins at conception, if you pull out, the child has not yet been conceived. So you're not taking a human life. This is a human life growing inside of a woman that if you leave it alone and you don't fuck with it, it will grow up and turn into a person with sentient thought who's going to be able to live and breathe and have experiences and do great things in the world. And you're just saying, well, I want to kill it just because. No, that's not right. I think that we have empowered women so much to such an extent that they literally believe that they're gods and they can do anything. Like, that's not right. So technology and science has gotten
See what I mean? See how this guy just talks for he endlessly talks.
This is my point that I want you. Let me ask you this question.
I'm sorry. Okay. When I asked you if it was wrong to pull out, I wasn't just asking you that question in a vacuum for no fucking reason.
But I know.
Obviously, the reason why I asked you that question would be relevant to an argument that I'm attempting to construct. So please do not derail the argument.
But the thing is, the argument that you're making is bullshit because those
you don't
are
even
not
know
the same
what
things.
the argument that I'm making is because you have not allowed me to finish making it.
If you pull out, then you're not
So
going to be here today.
I'm gonna mute you in 3, 2. Thank you. So here's the argument. For starters, I asked you why you think that it's wrong to kill a fetus.
Mm-hmm.
You responded by saying, because it's a member of our species. I then gave you the example of a brain dead patient. How they're also a member of our species. So then I asked you if it's wrong to kill that brain dead patient, and you said no. So then I stated, well, now there's an issue in your view. Because you can't argue that it's wrong to kill the fetus because it's a human, but then go on to argue that it's not wrong to kill a brain dead patient even though they're human. So I asked you, what is a relevant difference between a fetus and a brain dead patient that explains why you think it's wrong to kill the fetus, but it's not wrong to kill the brain dead patient? And then you said, well, because in the future, a fetus will be a person like you or I, thereby your new reason why you think abortion is wrong is because it's eliminating the future existence of a person like you or I. Then I asked you, is it wrong for a man to pull out? And you said no. Then I asked you, if your dad pulled out, would you be here today? And you said no. Therefore, your dad pulling out would have eliminated the future existence of an individual like you or I, because it literally would have eliminated your future existence. Therefore, the same reason that you granted, insofar as why you think abortion is wrong and should be illegal, would also apply to men pulling out, would also apply to women being on birth control, would also apply to the man or woman revoking consent during the action of sex, because just like abortion, all of those actions also eliminate the future potential of an individual like you or I existing. Now, you've already started to respond to this argument to describe to us why you think it's bullshit. You brought up the fact that, well, human life only begins at the moment of conception. And by getting an abortion, you are ending a human life. And by pulling out, you are not ending a human life. Well, remember, we already debunked the ending the human life argument with the example of the brain dead patient. We have already definitively concluded that it is not the human life of the fetus that you value. It's not the human life of the fetus that's being terminated that you value. It is rather the fact that it is the prevention of the existence of a future person like you or I that you value, and you condemn as being wrong, and you advocate for as wanting it to be illegal. That same reason in a vacuum also applies to every action that I just described, such as revoking consent from sex mid-sex, pulling out, or being on birth control.
Okay, Dean, those things are different. If you're going to make comparisons, you have to compare apples and apples and not apples and oranges, okay? If you're having sex with someone and you pull out, then your sperm has not entered them and the egg has not been fertilized. We agreed that human life begins at conception, and so the conception has not begun yet. And so and although that may end,
I've already
it
explained that.
prevents the human life from being like
I've already
began,
explained this. Augustus, I've
but
already
that's
explained
not
this.
okay.
Because I agree, that's a difference. You're right.
That is a difference.
But it's not a relevant difference, because the way that we determine if a difference is relevant to the argument is if it changes the thing that you consider. Okay? You stated that the wrong maker of abortion is not terminating a human life, but rather you stated that the wrong maker of an abortion is the prevention of the future existence of a person like you or I. So when I give you a counter response of bringing up a man pulling out, and all that also prevents the future existence of a person like you or I, I'm not a dumbass. I understand that that's not terminating the human life, but it just so happens to be the case that you don't think the fact that abortion terminates a human life is what makes abortion wrong because of the argument we went through as it relates to the brain dead patient. You just merely think that it prevents the future existence of a person like you or I is what makes it morally wrong. And that fact is true of a man pulling out, although there are many other irrelevant differences between abortion and a man pulling out, such as the termination or the lack thereof of a human life. But do you understand now how the reason why the argument still follows is because you don't think that the fact that abortion terminates a human life is relevant to why it's wrong?
No, I'm saying that abortion terminates an innocent human life who has not began its existence in the world and deserves a chance to exist in the world. Killing a brain dead patient and aborting a fetus are not
So
the
why
same.
does it deserve? Why does it have a moral deservance to life in the world?
Well, I believe in life. I believe that unless you do something that is wrong or unjust, your human life should not be
So if there's a
taken from you
brain dead
just for the
newborn
hell
who's
of
never done anything wrong or unjust, is it okay for doctors to pull them off a life support, killing them?
Well, this a brain dead newborn who has not done anything wrong or unjust, is it okay for the doctors to pull them off the life support?
Yeah, keep
We
in mind, brain
going back-
death is a permanent and irreversible cessation of all cognitive function. The reason why I'm asking you this question is because you just said that you think a life deserves
it's
to
the
live,
difference between
and it's
being
wrong to
alive and
terminate that
having
life
life, dude.
unless that
It's
life
the
has done
difference.
something wrong. Okay? So if your argument is true, if your argument was all encompassing, if your argument, Mr. Augustus, followed that it is always wrong to terminate lives that have not done anything wrong, then because a brain dead newborn has never done anything wrong, it would follow that if the family consented for the doctor to pull the plug on that brain dead newborn, that that action would be one of murder.
Well, although the fetus has not done anything wrong,
So can
they
you answer
were
the question?
born-
Is
If
it
a
murder?
person
Is it
brain
murder
dead,
to pull the
then
plug on a brain
something
dead
has gone
patient?
wrong.
Is
Then
it
if a
murder to
person
pull the
is-
plug on a brain dead on that brain dead newborn? Is it
If
murder?
a person
Is it murder
brain
though,
dead,
Augustus?
something has gone wrong. Dean.
Just
In a
answer the
perfect world-
question. Is it
but
murder?
Dean, but listen, is that murder? No. If a person
Even though,
is-
okay, so then you don't
if a
always think that it's
person
wrong
is
to
born-
end a life
Let me
if that life
explain,
hasn't done
okay?
anything
Let
wrong.
me
Okay,
explain.
okay,
Let me
Augustus,
explain.
now I'm gonna mute you because we need to be able to consolidate your position. I asked you why you think that the fetus has moral deservance to live, and you said because it hasn't done anything wrong. And then you stated that the underlying moral principle in which pushes that claim forward, that it's wrong to kill a fetus because it hasn't done anything wrong, is a fact that you think it's always wrong to end a human life if said human life has never done anything wrong. You have now rejected that principle because you don't think that it is murder to pull the plug on a brain dead newborn, even if that brain dead newborn has not done anything wrong. So then let's go back to why you think that the fetus has moral deservance to life. You cannot argue that the fetus has moral deservance to life because the fetus has not done anything wrong. We just demonstrated how not doing anything wrong is not sufficient for moral deservance for life through the example of the brain dead newborn. So because that trait being true of the fetus is not sufficient in demonstrating why you believe the fetus has moral deservance, name the trait that is sufficient in demonstrating why that fetus has moral deservance.
But you're not listening. I have explained to you that there is a difference between murder and killing. Killing is when you take a life. Murder is the unjustified taking of a human life.
I agree with this.
Right.
This doesn't
The
respond to a
fetus-
single thing I
the-
just said.
The fetus, the child that was born brain dead. If you are born brain dead, something has gone wrong. Although you may have not done anything wrong, something has gone wrong. This person, although they are alive, they are not going to have a life. They're not going to be able to do anything or become anything. They're literally just in a hospital.
Okay. So then you're saying that the fetus matters because it has a future like ours. Do you think that it's murder to kill a unicellular zygote?
A unicellular zygote.
It's a first stage of human development. It's when the life is literally one cell. Is it murder to kill it, dude?
Yes.
Do you think that all murderers should go to jail? Idealistically, do you think that all murderers should go to jail?
There are caveats to that.
I said idealistically, should anybody who's guilty of intentionally murdering somebody go to jail?
Well, and then you're gonna flip it and you're gonna say, well, IUDs, this, that, and the third.
Yeah. Do you think that women who have IUDs that know those IUDs can kill zygotes and they do kill zygotes because they choose to be sexually active are murderers?
I don't necessarily blame the women. I don't think that the women should go to jail. I think that
Wait, I want you to answer the question though. Are they culpable for murder? Are they murderers?
they had a part to play in it.
Are they murderers? Yes or no?
Let me think.
You've lost us 8,000 viewers because you just can't track a singular argument. It's so sad. Sabrina, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, if you eat an egg, did you kill a chicken? No. You end
Let's
the
go on to
potential.
the
Same
next
logic
topic.
applies. Let's go. No, we are not going to go on to the next topic. You're going to answer the question. Are women with IUDs that know those IUDs can kill zygotes, yet they still choose to be sexually active and they do kill a zygote, are they murderers?
They are choosing to be sexually active, and then when they get pregnant, they don't want to like own up to the consequences and become
Marie,
mothers.
thank you so much for the
instead,
Galaxy
they're
Globe.
using
I
science-
appreciate you.
So
Thank you so
instead,
much,
they're
Marie.
using science to end the life of their human child. Yes, they are murderers. They need to keep their legs closed and stop being whores. Absolutely.
Oh, like, would you ever make a murderer president? Would you ever make a murderer president?
You know what? I think that in order for you to be a competent leader, I think you have to have the ability to do things that are wrong in the pursuit of the greater good.
Wait. So you would make a serial killer president?
Well, soldiers are serial killers, Dean. If you go to a country like Iraq and you have 14 confirmed kills,
Wait, let's assume that there's an American soldier that like went to Iraq and they killed like an innocent family of 5, okay? They unjustifiably committed these killings, like absolute atrocities, absolute war crimes. Would you ever make a serial murderer? Yeah, would you ever make a serial murderer president?
You're saying serial murder and
Yes.
serial killer; those are two different things.
Not the way that we use the phrase. I understand that killing is different than murder, but we use the phrase serial killer to be a serial murderer. Answer the question: would you ever make a quote-unquote serial murderer president?
No, I don't think that someone who intentionally kills people just for the hell of it should be the president.
Yeah, now check this out. Here's my final fucking argument. So you said that it's murder for a woman to have an IUD and to be sexually active if it kills a zygote. So if a woman has an IUD for 30 years and is very sexually active, it is very likely that they have killed a lot of zygotes. Keep in mind that you only need to murder 3 people to become a serial killer or a serial murderer. So in other words, you would never make a woman president if that woman had an IUD and killed more than 3 zygotes. But on the other hand, you would make Trump president, who had a court determine that he raped a woman. On the other hand, you would make Trump president, who killed 158 kids in an elementary school in southern Iran. On the other hand, you would make Trump president, who gave full and complete presidential pardons to 176 people who attempted to kill cops on the steps of our Capitol while intentionally engaging in an insurrection in the American democracy. On the other hand, you would make Trump president, who boasted about barging into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls to look at them while they were undressed without consent, making him a violent sexual predator. On the other hand, you would make Trump president in consideration of every single one of these things. So to clarify, you think that it is worse for a woman to be sexually active on an IUD as long as she kills more than 3 zygotes, because that would make her, under your view, a serial murderer who you would quote unquote never make president, than it would be to be a felon, rapist, sexual predator who's boasted about perving on kids, because clearly that does not fall beyond your threshold of I would never make them president, because Donald Trump is those things. He is president and you support him. So explain to us why you think it is worse to be a woman with an IUD that is sexually active than it is to be a literal rapist that is boasted about sexually exploiting kids.
Well, Dean, what we have to understand is that just because a person has been convicted of a crime does not mean that they actually committed that crime. The entire American government and the criminal justice system is completely and entirely corrupt from head to toe. And if you have enough money and power, if you know the right people or you have dirt on someone, you can get a judge or a jury to say just about anything. The criminal justice system or the justice system in general can be weaponized against people that you don't like. If you piss someone off and they have enough money, they can literally just hire a lawyer, hire a prosecutor to go through a law book, find, oh, he did this, he did that, he did this, and just literally wreck your entire career. I think that having an IUD is the same as literally just getting a gun and blowing someone's brains out? Absolutely not. I do think that there are levels to these things. To be ideology consistent, you would have to say that having an IUD is murder. But I think that there are definitely levels to this, and I think that we have to use just a little bit of common sense. Yes, logic and reason play a part, but we also have to use common sense. I believe overall, I think that Donald Trump would be a better president than Kamala Harris. And I say that purely because I think that he is a strong leader. I think that the entire world, although Kamala, she's been in the government for many, many years, and she has all of these qualifications, I do think that she is perceived as weak. And because of that, America is literally like the head of the world. We control the entire world. with our money, and if the rest of the world does not respect us, then that's gonna have like catastrophic consequences. People are gonna stop using the dollar to trade oil. People are just, it's gonna be shit. It's gonna go to hell. I think naturally, if I'm being completely 100% honest, I think that some things men are just better equipped to do than women. And
oh my God! Wow, we went there.
Then that's not sexist. That's the truth. Now you asked me some questions. Let me ask you a question, okay? Do you believe, on average, that men are bigger, stronger, and faster than women on average? Yes or no?
Woo! Yeah, yes, City out here. What do you mean by bigger?
Taller.
Taller?
Like,
yeah, men are taller than women on average by strong.
Bigger,
don't start yapping for another 10 minutes, please don't. I just asked one simple clarifying question.
Bigger means taller, wider, longer, thicker. Just what bigger means, Dean. Don't be dumb.
All right,
Are men bigger,
okay.
stronger, and faster than women on average? Yes or no, Dean?
Yeah, men are taller than women on average. Men
are they big? Are they?
Okay,
are they
you spoke for 8 minutes. Let me get more than 4 words out.
I'm gonna keep speaking, Dean, because here's the thing: you don't invite someone on your podcast, and then when they make a point that you disagree with, you speak over them.
I was in the middle of responding.
But that's the reason. But that's the reason why the majority of people that you get on here are trolls. There's a reason why no one really wants to debate you, and it's not because you win the debates. It's because you have you talk over people. Like you do not allow.
That's really ironic.
You do, but you don't. You don't allow people to come on here and express viewpoints that you disagree with.
That's
ironic. I am one of the only people who has come on this podcast that's actually saying something and giving you a debate, even though you disagree with me. But then you constantly say, "Oh, well, you're talking for 5 minutes, or you're doing this."
You're actually over 12 minutes now, by the way.
Oh. Okay, but dude,
can you agree that that's a little bit crazy that you've been?
There are certain jobs.
Hey, don't you agree? Don't you agree that it's kind of crazy that you've been talking for 13 minutes straight? Okay.
Okay, back to my other point.
Oh. Another point.
There are certain things that I believe that men are more capable of doing than women. I do believe that, and to be completely honest, we live in a free country and we have freedom of speech. So I'm going to express my viewpoints that maybe people might disagree with. I believe that, in a way, I think that men are superior than women. I do think that men are bigger, stronger, faster, smarter than women. If a woman sees a fucking cockroach or she sees the beast, she's going to start screaming and crying. But we're supposed to allow this person to lead our country. Absolutely not. It's just 2 + 2 = 4, 5 + 5 is 10. The math is not mathing. I think that genders have their roles. I don't think that a man can do what a woman does and a woman can't do what a man does. I think that there are some women out there who are very smart and exceptional, but on average, I think that the majority of them are just not capable or competent like the majority of men are.
Yeah, you done?
Yes.
Holy shit, dude. I got married, I had 3 kids, I raised them, funded their college.
And you still ain't shit.
They graduated with bachelor's degrees. One went into medicine, another one went into science. They had kids of their own.
College is a scam. That's a whole different debate.
They had grandkids, and then I raised them while their parents were on vacation, and then inevitably their
Thank
parents...
you, Jen Sue PQ, for all the hearts and roses.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, I'm going to make one very simple request, okay?
Okay.
I'll let you speak for around 15 minutes. Okay. Can you now shut the hell up so I could speak for 30 seconds?
Okay. I will let you make your argument and allow you to make your point, and then when you are done, I will respond to you. But if you finish it off with a question, I'm gonna say what I want to say, even if I don't respond the way you want me to respond. I'm going to respond in the way that I.
Okay, you're doing the yappy thing again. Okay,
I have a lot to say.
I know you have a lot to say. I know.
So the first thing I'm
going to do here is I'm actually just going to take some time to thank my donors, and you're going to patiently fucking wait. Madison, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, who says, love you so much, Dean. I was raised by a MAGA supporter, but watching your streams have changed my perspective on all of it. Thank you for fighting for our rights. Well, thank you so very much. Let's get 100 Madison W's in that chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Lindsay, thank you for the $5, who says, thank you for what you do. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Reese with the $1 says, this guy needs to get off the incel forums. Melanie, I'm going to keep that message to myself, but thank you so much for the $25. Let's get 250 Melanie W's. I didn't know that, but now I do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melanie, with another $25. I'll also keep that one to myself per your request. And then, of course, with your first $50 and $100 donation. I got you, Melanie. Thank you so very much for all the love and support, dude. Let's get like 500 Melanie W's. That is so much love. You sent me quite a few messages there. I'll keep those all to myself per your request. But genuinely, thank you so much for the love, Melanie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kaylee, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate you. Diana, thank you for the $5. Joe with the $10. I appreciate you so much. Anna with the $10 says, open the door and let Momo in. But the door is open. Momo could come in if she wants to, but she's probably feeling a little bit busy right now. She's probably sleeping or something. And then, of course, Sophie, thank you for the $10 as well. He says, I genuinely enjoy your stream so much. Well, thank you so much for being here, Sophie. Let's get 100 Sophie W's down below in that comment section. And then, of course, Alexandra, thank you so much for the $10, who says, Dean, thank you so much for what you said. Well, Alexandra, thank you so very much. I know that you've been watching for a long time. Thank you for the $10. And then, of course, Danielle, thank you so much for the $50 donation on PayPal. Holy fucking shit. Let's go, Danielle. Let's get 500 Danielle W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much. Danielle, the $50 says, this yapping fuck nugget really said that women should not have autonomy over their own bodies, and now he's saying that they can't lead. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yeah, this guy's fucking gross, Danielle. I appreciate you for the $50. Let's get 500 Danielle W's, as well as Jasmine with the $12, who says, hey, Dean, watching you every night from England. Thank you so much for the $12, Jasmine. And then, of course, Addison, thank you for the $14. I am going to go and keep that in myself just because the nature of the question is a little bit dark. But just know that I appreciate you for the $14. Show some love to Addison down below. Thank you very much. And then same thing to you, Carolina. Thank you for the $10. Over on Super Chat, thank you for the $10. Rodney, who says, what's more important today, muscles or brains as president? I'll bet on Kamala Harris against Trump in any fight. On God, Rodney. Thank you so much. And then, of course, Saints with the $10 says, trans rights are human rights. I couldn't agree more, Saints. Thank you so much for the $10. Over on Super Chat as well, thank you so much, Alpha Phoenix, for the $5. And with that being said, we're all caught up. Guys, if you do want to support me, if you want to support the stream, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on my TikTok account. Pin message over on YouTube, as well as the handles at the top of the phone screen on TikTok too. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in my last name, Withers. It is a very, very good way to support what we do. Then we have one more super chat for now. Thank you so much, Angelina, for the 28 Canadian dollars, who says, finally have the day off work. Much love, Dean. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Well, thank you very, very much, Angelina. Let's get 300 Angelina W's. Thank you so very much for that love and support. Honestly felt really exhilarating there to just have a moment to speak without an interruption.
In the chat, please. If you agree with me, please put W Augustus in the chat. Let's see who agrees.
Well, I mean, I think that you need to give them a little bit more reason to agree with you, because you just kind of said that men are better at leading than women. You didn't really specify why. So, Augustus, listen to what I'm saying here, Augustus. Listen to me very closely. You are a yapper. If I don't, in at least some sense, mitigate your yap or control your ability to speak, you will legitimately speak for 30 minutes uninterrupted without answering my question. So what I'm going to do in response to that is we're going to hit you with the fucking whiteboard. The whiteboard is a tool that I will sometimes whip out to keep my guests in check and to keep my guests on track. So your claim is, men are better at leading than women.
That's not my claim. That's not my claim. But backspace to all the way back to claim, and I'm going to tell you what to write. Okay, are you ready?
Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
That was not my claim.
Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
If you're going to debate me on my claim, let me pick the claim. What I said that I believe that men are superior than women. That's my claim. So backspace it.
Do you think Do you think that superiority would include being better at leading than them?
Yes, but I'm not an idiot. I think that women have the ability to be good leaders. Some of the best businesses in the world are ran completely by women. I'm not a sexist or a misogynist. I don't think that women.
All right, bro. We're just gonna do this claim. You're yapping, Augustus. Yapping, Augustus. Okay. So here's my question.
Let me get over 50 followers.
Differences grifting between men and women that make men superior. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to specify the individual differences between men and women that you believe make men superior to women. Go ahead.
Okay.
Be short and concise.
Number one, the ability to do violence.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, they all kind of fall under that. But the other two, I would say strength, speed, and size. And also intelligence. I believe that men are more logical than women. I believe that women are more emotional and erratic than men. And because of that, it interferes with their ability to be good leaders. Now, not all women are emotional. Some women are very logical and reasonable, but the majority are not.
Any other reason why you think that men are superior to women?
That's pretty much it. I think it pretty much all boils down to the ability to do violence, strength, and speed.
Okay, well, you also have the more logical and emotion.
That too, yeah.
Okay, let's go through them. We're going to go one by one. Men are more able to do violence. Okay, I have a question. Who's superior to who? Is Hitler superior to Martin Luther King Jr.? Or is Martin Luther King Jr. superior to Hitler?
That's subjective. I think.
What's your
Who
answer?
is Martin Luther King superior to Hitler, or Hitler superior to Martin Luther King? You're conflating apples and oranges.
Answer the
It's not the
question.
same. Okay. I'm not going to answer that question because I see where you're going with that question, and it doesn't accurately paint what I'm saying. The reason why I think that men are superior than women because they have the ability to do violence.
Emily, thank you so much for the Guardians pledge. I appreciate you.
Society boils down to. Society comes down to violence. When police show up to your house with guns, you don't go with them because they're police. You go with them because if you don't, they're going to be violent.
I'm gonna show you the reason why my question was relevant to your claim. Claim is men are more violent. Okay, so if it was true that being more violent made you superior as you would suggest, well, then you would say that Hitler is amongst the most superior humans that has ever lived, because we just would cash out men are more violent, okay, for the statement that Hitler was more violent than like everyone else ever, LOL. Okay, right? So we see here that if we follow your logic, I'm gonna mute you now. We see here that if we follow your logic, Ginger, thank you so much for the galaxy. Well, it would entail the natural ends that Hitler is one of the most superior humans that has ever lived, because Hitler is amongst one of the most violent humans that has ever lived. Now, clearly,
it was not 6 million people. Dude. That's a lie. It wasn't 6 million.
I know it was more. It was 12 million.
No, I believe it was probably less. I think history is written by the victors, and when history is written by the victors...
Oh my God, he's a Holocaust denier too! How many people died in the Holocaust, Augustus?
I don't think it was 6 million.
How many was it, Augustus?
Probably less than 6 million. I don't know if it was 6 million. I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you it was 6 million.
Did you know that the Holocaust is the most well-documented event in human history? There's nothing that is better documented than the death totals of the Holocaust, because the Nazis happened to keep very, very, very in-depth records about the function and the operation of their concentration death camps. Now, the reason why a lot of really stupid incel Nazis, probably like yourself, okay,
I'm not an incel
reject
or
how
I'm
many
literally
people
black.
died.
I would be killed by Nazis. What are you talking about?
I wasn't gonna say it out loud, but you're kind of right. The people that you're sticking up for
I'm
would have
not
killed you,
a fucking
Augustus.
Nazi just because I don't believe that 6 million people died
So
in the Holocaust.
so
I'm
so let me
allowed
so
to
let me
question
clarify
things.
this.
So if I question
Denying-
something that is
denying-
presented to me as truth,
denying-
that makes me a hateful person. No, that doesn't make me a hateful
Well, you
person.
didn't just
I'm
question it,
allowed
you
to not
denied
believe
it.
something that
So
everyone else
denying the
believes, but that
death
doesn't make
toll
me
of the Holocaust is neo-Nazi propaganda. The reason why that's neo-Nazi propaganda is because it comes from the lie that there were only 271,000 Jewish people killed in the
Let me
Holocaust.
ask. Okay, well then let me ask
The
you this.
reason
Let me ask you
why
this, okay?
that's a lie.
Do you
No,
support
I'm in the middle.
Israel
I'm
in
in the
their
middle.
killing of innocent Jews? And I know, do you support Israel in their killing of Palestinians in the Middle East? Yes or no?
No. I'm in the middle.
Anti-Semitism. You're an anti-Semite. Cancel. Over with. Done with. Can't say that. Sorry. If you can't say that. If I say anything that is against what we are told happened, then I am a.
It's not about
it
what
doesn't
you've
make
been
sense.
told that has happened. It's about what has been proved that has happened. So the historical records that demonstrate the death count of the Holocaust are not just a statement being made by your history teacher in high school, but it is backed up by a preponderance of evidence. In fact, the evidence that exists to demonstrate that the death toll of the Holocaust was around 6 million Jewish individuals and 12 million people in total is the most well-documented and well-proven things ever. Okay? Literally,
Okay.
listen. Literally
let me
ever.
ask you this. I
So,
said
no,
men
I'm
are
in the middle of
superior-
speaking.
No, okay, but Dean, but I let you speak. Let me ask you a question. I said that men are superior to women because of their ability to do violence. You then took that and turned it into Hitler versus Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm not an idiot. Of course, I don't agree with what Hitler did. But what I'm
Was
saying
Hitler
is,
superior
if
to
you-
Martin Luther
hold
King
on, hold on.
Jr.?
If someone is committing a crime
Was
against
Hitler
right?
superior
if
to Martin Luther
If
King
someone is committing
Jr.?
a crime against you and you call the police, do you want
Was
a
Hitler
group of big,
superior to Martin
strong,
Luther King
masculine
Jr.?
men to show up, or do you want a group of 130-pound,
Was Hitler Hitler superior to Martin Luther King Jr.?
But you're conflating the argument. This is
We're
why I'm
not.
saying that
We're
women
not. We're
are
going.
con-
We're going statement by statement. Okay. Listen. Do we agree?
No, okay, but
Do we
this is-
agree?
but this is your
Do we
tactics.
agree
Your
that
tactics
Hitler?
are bullshit. And the
Augustine.
reason your tactics are
Augustine.
bullshit is because I'm
Augustine.
making a claim.
Do we
And then you
agree?
take the claim
Do we agree
and
that
you
Hitler
twist it.
was more violent and had a greater ability to perpetuate violence than Martin
But-
Luther King Jr.?
But that doesn't.
Augustine, do we agree that Hitler was more violent and had the ability to perpetuate more violence than Martin Luther King Jr.?
Not necessarily.
I'm sorry, but you're just a fucking idiot.
No.
What the hell do you mean, not necessarily was Hitler more violent than MLK?
Okay, but Dean.
What do
Dean,
you
you're not
mean by
letting me
that?
speak.
What
And
do you
then-
mean Hitler wasn't
let me
more
explain
violent
it.
than MLK Jr.?
Let me explain. Let me explain exactly what I mean. The time right now that I see on my clock is 3:58 p.m. Give me to about, let me say, like 4:01, 4:02, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly what I mean by this, and then after that you can debunk it. When I say that men are superior to women because they have the ability to commit violence, at the end of the day, that's kind of what it all boils down to. If you have the ability to hurt, might makes right. And that's just the world that we live in. I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but I'm just saying that that's the world that we live in, you know? Since the beginning of time, since all of human life in every culture, civilization, and time period, men have always ruled over women. And
Would
the
you say that
reason
a
why they
rapist
ruled
is
over
superior
women-
to their rape
No,
victim because
no,
might makes
you're
right?
not listening, Dean. You're conflating things. Shut up and listen. I'm saying that since the beginning of time, men have always ruled over women because men are bigger, stronger, faster, and smarter, right?
That's not true.
The Vikings, when they got on their fucking ships and they went to some other island, do you think, and with gold, they went over there for gold to spread their religion? They were looking for gold, silver, anything of value. Do you think that they want to say, please give us your gold? No, they went over there, they took what they wanted, they burned everything to the ground and killed everyone who stands in their way. Women do not have the physical ability, the mental ability to do those things, but that's okay. There are other things that women are good at, but they're just not. A woman cannot do what a man can do. If someone breaks into your house, who has a better chance of defending you? A 6'5", 200-pound man or a 5'3" woman? Why do we teach men from a young age not to hit women? We teach them that because women are weaker than men. Right? There is a reason why we do not put men and women in boxing together. Male boxers do not box female boxers. Female UFC fighters do not fight male UFC fighters. Female MMA fighters do not fight male MMA fighters because the men are bigger and stronger and faster, and they're going to lose. Right?
Dean, I appreciate you for the
Men have the ability to use their violence to enact change in a society in a way that women cannot. Every single revolution throughout history was fought by men. The men were sick and tired of their government, so they stood up and they said, no, we don't like this anymore, and they used force and violence to overturn that government. Women cannot do that, and because if they could, women in Afghanistan, they used to have rights. How come they don't have rights anymore? Because the men took them away. Women in Iran, they used to have rights. How come they don't have rights? Because the men said no. How come they don't just stand up and use violence and force to take back their rights in the way that a man would do? Because they do not have the physical ability to do so.
Thanks, Augustine. So you're the third person in the history of the Dean Withers Show that I've started to kick fund on. The bounty on this guy's head is $250. This is the third time in the history of this show we have ever done this, and I can't think of a time where it was more deserved. So you're going to shut the hell up, and I'm going to speak.
Fuck you. It's a free country. I'm not going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say.
Oh, I know that you're going to say what the fuck you want to say because you obviously have on this live stream over here saying that might makes right. Hey, quick question for you. What a crash out. What an absolute crash out. What an absolute crash out. What an absolute. Can I speak? Is this a debate? Is this a debate? Is this a debate? Oh, this isn't a debate. So I want to clarify. So I just want to clarify. I want to clarify. You think that you should have the right to join my live stream and ask me, Dean, give me 4 minutes until 3:02 p.m. to say whatever I want to about how might makes right. But then as soon as you want to start responding to demonstrate why I'm wrong in my convictions, all of a sudden you won't let me get a word out. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to sit down and you're going to shut up while I tell you why you're wrong. The first thing that you said is that might makes right. The more powerful that you are, the more superior you are to those around you. First and foremost, any good faith, fundamentally rational creature completely rejects this claim. I'll give you examples of why. If it was true that might makes right, and the more power you have to perpetuate violence, the more superior you are as an individual, an organization, or an entity, well, then you'd say that Hitler's one of the most superior humans that has ever lived, and you'd say that when a man is raping a woman, that man is demonstrating his superiority over that woman and is superior to that woman because he was able to rape her. The third claim that I'll make here is I fundamentally reject the praxis that might makes right, because might does not make right. What do we mean by right? What is the purpose of human existence? How should we dictate how we govern over the human existence? How do we drive and cultivate productive, flourishing society? Not through might, power, and oppression, but rather through cooperation, diplomacy, and fighting for the betterment of everybody. Okay? In fact, I would argue that that baseless and irrational demonstrations of might through war, division, oppression, and killing makes the opposite of right. Because we could point towards so many scenarios throughout all of human history where this demonstration of might, this fight, war, death, and killing has led to the downfall of a civilization, has collapsed a government, has destroyed a country, and led to the deaths of hundreds of millions, billions of humans, just like you and I, throughout the history of this country, throughout the history of this world. So clearly, might does not make right when what we define as right is what will lead to the flourishment of our species. Now, the next thing that I'll say here is I also fundamentally reject a lot of the other claims that you've made. Like, for instance, you made the claim that men are smarter than women on average. Point number one, there's absolutely no evidence in the slightest to demonstrate that men have a higher IQ on average than women. If anything, there's evidence to demonstrate, shut up. If anything, one moment. If anything, I'll answer your question. If anything, there's evidence to demonstrate that women are smarter than men on average because women perform better in school, they perform better on tests, and they get more degrees. When we know that there's a positive correlation between performance in school and one's innate intelligence level, such as IQ. Now to move on to the second thing that you said. Are there more men with higher IQs or women with higher IQs? Well, there are more documented men with higher IQs because men have been allowed access to more resources to educate themselves, to go to higher levels of education via the lack of an access to more abundant resources and a lack of social discrimination around men inside of those fields where they could use those resources to their advantage. And the thing is this point can actually be used against you, which is why you shouldn't hold it to be the case. Are there more recorded cases of white people with high IQs or black people with high IQs?
White people, definitely.
Yes, because historically speaking, through the colonialization of the West and the exploitation of predominantly black continents such as Africa, there has been the collection of more abundant resources within disproportionately white countries with the exploitation of disproportionately black countries. So the first thing that I'll say here is, by your logic, because there's more recorded high IQ white people than black people because of this access to resources, that you would say white people are superior to black people. And this also falls down to the might makes right argument that the imperialistic conquest of Europe, because they had access to more abundant resources just because of the geographical region in which they built their countries in, that they were then able to use to exploit sub-Saharan Africa, that therefore white people are superior to black people. So will you as a black man say that white people are superior to black people? Because that's what your logic leads to.
Give me a second. Let me think before I respond. I think that the why more or
No,
less
you don't get to
is
respond
relevant.
because the kick fun was fucking met. All right. Yeah, you're banned, dude. Wow. All right. Yeah. The kick fun was met. By the way, that is exactly what his logic leads to. His logic leads to the claim that sure, men are superior to women, but also that white people are superior to black people. He is arguing in accordance with his own logic that he is an inferior person because of his race. That is fucking ridiculous. That is fucking ridiculous. Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded into the screen. Y'all supported the fuck out of that kick fun. Y'all supported the fuck out of that kick fun. Holy moly. Jesus Christ. Let's go to get that next guest connected. Dude, that guy sucked, man. Only up inside of the box if you happen to be MAGA. We have a couple people to thank here. That was one of the crazier conversations that we've had in a while. Wow, that guy was nuts. Let's go to get that next guest connected. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, everybody. Yeah, we're not going to be having that guest back. Listen, I guess I'm really happy that before we ended up kicking him because of the kick fun, I was able to really drive the point home. Okay, that point being that his own logic would apply to himself in the sense that it would lead to the conclusion that white people are superior to black people. On Venmo, thank you so much, Acacia, for the $10, who says, forget about the women who were beaten and tortured so that women could have rights. The suffragettes that were force-fed and brutally beaten in the streets in prison. Fuck this dude. Yeah, that guy was nuts. He was an absolute asshole. He was just completely off his rocker. Thank you for the $10. Charlene, thank you for the $10 for the kick fun. Lee, thank you for the $25 for the kick fun. And Jamie, thank you so much for the $100 donation on Venmo for the kick fun. I want to see 1,000 Jamie W's down below in that comment section while we're looking for that next Trump supporter to come up here and give us an argument. Thank you so very much for the love. Jamie says kick fun, but I also learned so much from you. Well, thank you so much for the $100 for the kick fun. You were ridiculous. Thank you so very much for that love and support. Let's get 1,000 Jamie W. Same thing to Darrell. Thank you for the $25 towards the kick fun. I really appreciate you. Julie with the $10 towards the kick fun. Mark with the 10 for the kick fun. Maureen with the 10 for the kick fun. Amanda with the 10 for the kick fun. Holy fucking shit. Thank you, Lydia, for supporting the kick fun. Tina, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo for the kick fun. Let's get 500 Tina W's. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the support for the kick fun. Olivia with a donut for the kick fun. Zendrea with a donut for the kick fun. Jen and Aubrey with the donuts for the kick fun. Ben and Miriam with the donuts for the kick fun. Lindsay, David, and Tarn with the donuts for the kick fun. Elizabeth, Stacey, and Jaden with the donuts for the kick fun. And wow, we are all caught up. Holy crap. And Melanie, thank you for the $25 as well. They came in a while ago. Make sure to check that out. And then Abby, thank you for the $15 earlier. Just know that I appreciate you. It's good to see you as always. Whew, that last conversation was crazy. Jefferson, do you support Trump?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you support Trump?
Oh, I'm not sure about that because I grew up around family that supported Trump, but like I've always seen some like contradictory points in himself and like some like things that seem like that doesn't make sense. Why would he do that? And like I'm just like I've been thinking about like converting. Not it sounds like it's like a religion, but like just being more independent than anything. But like I'm just asking for like support, but not support, but like more like advice.
Like a reason why you
Like
shouldn't support him?
reason, because I feel like it's just like it's kind of scary because I'm still growing around up with my parents.
Here's
and,
what I'll
like,
say. If you're not a Trump supporter, but you're more so just looking for reasons not to support Trump, you should watch the stream. That's the benefit that viewers of the stream get. And that's a benefit that I intend for the viewers of the stream to get. I guess the purpose of like the guest request and coming up on the stream is if like you hold these convictions that Trump is a good president. And then the reason why I do these debates isn't really to try to change the mind of the person I'm talking to, because although that does happen and I love it when it doesn't happen enough for me to like dedicate my life to it. Right. So the main purpose of the live stream is for you as a viewer who doesn't really know where you sit politically, then turn around and listen to what I have to say and listen to what they have to say and make up your mind for yourself. And I trust that you'll make up your mind, probably agreeing with me if you're thinking rationally. But here's what I'm going to say before I kick you out. The reason why Trump sucks is because his character is abysmal and his policy sucks. Okay, he's a 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist who's boasted about preying on the naked bodies of women and girls by barging into their dressing rooms, that was best friends with Epstein, and who was personally accused of raping a minor in the Epstein files that he illegally redacted against the will of the American people. His domestic policy sucks because it's absolutely destroyed our economy. It has increased poverty, it's increased unemployment, it's increased inflation, it has increased manufacturing bankruptcies, it has reduced GDP growth, and it's reduced the growth rate of real median wages. His foreign policy is also absolutely abysmal because he started a needless war of choice overseas that destroyed the global economy and has killed little kids in their elementary schools. If you want more reasons, or specific explanations of the points that I just made, once again, Jefferson, I would definitely recommend tuning into the live streams because that is the major benefit that you will get. Thank you, Angelina, with the 28 Canadian dollars on Super Chat, who says, please genuinely kick this guest. I understand why it's important to teach him, but I don't think that he's going to learn a benefit from this conversation. Yeah, we got that last asshole out of here. We got him out of here. Amanda, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Rodney with the $10 says, caveman mentality, muscles over brains. Yeah, which is exactly what that last guest was arguing. Oh my goodness. Brad with the $10 says, another dono for my last inaccurate comment. Wanted to say instead of the callers insufferable, and I appreciate you, Dean. Well, thank you so much, Brad. Macy with the $10 says, callers like this, like that last guy, are the reason why I want there to be a barrier to entry for these calls. I make a whole checklist like education level or something. Dude is crazy. Yeah, sometimes we'll get like good faith people who come up here for honest discussion, and other times we'll just get like crazies like him. Thank you so much, Brad, for the other $20 donation as well. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Let's get 200 red W's. We got Jennifer loading up in the box. Over on PayPal, this is once again going back to the Kick Fund. Victoria, appreciate you for supporting the Kick Fund. Damara, thank you for supporting the Kick Fund. Stacy and Lisa, thank you guys for supporting the Kick Fund. Margaret with the $10 says that last guy was so emotional, didn't understand the First Amendment, definitely an idiot. Yeah, not that intelligent. Kathy, thank you so much for supporting the Kick Fund. Willow with a $14 says, Mr. Yap City over here basically said that men are strong alpha males. Yeah, pretty much. And then they go on to say, love your streams, by the way. Well, thank you so much. Then Cara, thank you for the $10. And Roberta, thank you so much, Randy, for the $100 on PayPal. This came in before the Kick Fund. Thank you so much, Randy. Let's get 1,000 Randy W's, who says, you have my permission to kick this caller. Yes, thank you for the permission, Randy. Yeah, we got him out of here. That last guest sucked. Randy, genuinely, thank you so much for the love and support. I am very, very grateful for you. Thank you so much. Let's get 1,000 Randy W's. Same thing to you, Rhonda with the $20, who says, please, please, please save us any more of this LOL, please. On a better note, we appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you, Rhonda. Yeah, we got that last guy out of here. He was so fucking stupid, bro. Jennifer, do you support Trump? By the way, I see a lot of people in donation messages as well as in the chat misgendering that last guess. That was not a her. That was not a woman. That was a he, him, man. Just to let everybody know. Hey, do you support Trump?
Yeah, what's up, Dean? My name's Ty. I'm 18.
What year are you born in?
Birthday's January 1st, 2008, brother.
Alrighty. Why do you support the worst president of your life, Mr. Trump?
Okay, okay. It's not necessarily that it's like that I support him like hardcore. There's some things that I do believe, yeah, but then there's also some things like the Epstein files and whatnot. Like you can't justify it. But there is one thing that
thank you for the
me and my
bio.
history teacher, we always love to talk about because we kind of got some good ideas on this because he's more of a left. It was about the abortion. I was listening to you talk to that other dude about it, and that kind of got off the rails crazy. I think there's like a middleman here somewhere that I think some people can really, I think they could accept it. Would you like to hear some of the points that I'm trying to get to?
So you support Trump because of abortion?
No, okay, not necessarily. I just
I want to know the reason why you support Trump.
Do what? Sorry.
I want to know the reason why you support Trump as president.
Okay, well, this is one of the reasons I would like to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. Please specify the reason.
Okay, so I not necessarily a pro-lifer, but I do believe that if the womb is dead and the mom will die because of it, I do believe that you should be able to abort. I think that just getting with guys and messing around and using that as a get out free card is not allowed. That should not be allowed.
Okay.
I think that there should. I think that you should be able
to.
to.
The one responsible for the sex and the get out of jail free
Right.
card. Any other reasons?
Right. I think that you should be able to have to qualify for it. Like I do understand the part where
Just specify the other reasons why you think that the abortion is wrong, please.
Oh, why it's wrong? Okay. I think that it does take away a life in a sense.
Okay. How about this? So are you saying that you support Trump because you think that he's going to save more innocent human life than Kamala Harris would have if she won the election because she was pro-abortion and he's anti-abortion?
No, not necessarily. But I do what you say. I do see what
Is
you're
that
saying.
not the reason why you support? Wait. So you're telling me the reason why you are pro-life is not because you're concerned with saving innocent human life?
Do what? Say that again.
So the ultimate motivation why you're pro-life is not that you want to save innocent human life. So then what's the ultimate motivation why you're pro-life? Like, what's the purpose of banning abortion? Ultimately, what's the purpose?
It's not that I want to it's not that I want to ban it. It's that I think there should be some restrictions. I think there should
ultimately,
still
what's
be.
the purpose why you want to restrict abortions? If it's not to save innocent human life, then what is it?
I just think it shouldn't be like a get out of free. Like I just don't think there should be people like just being able to just do it whenever they please. You know?
Yeah, bro. I don't know why. I mean, hey, thanks for being honest about it. So
Yeah.
this is actually what a lot of pro-lifers do, but at least you're admitting to it. You use the pro-life claim as a shield to conceal your true motivations of just wanting to control women and girls and to punish women and girls because they uphold different values in the context of romance, intimacy, and sex than you do.
Okay.
The ultimate motivation why you're pro-life, as you just admitted to, is not because you are concerned with saving the innocent human life of the unborn. It is literally because you want to control women.
Okay. I understand. You say that. I do understand that too. But I do think that men should also be held to a standard where they should have
what
to
standard?
Be able to, like.
What are we
Okay, so
legally
it's
going to do to
like-
men? What are we legally going to do to men? What are we going to do to men legally as it relates to this
Okay, so-
conversation about legally restricting access to abortion? What are the legal repercussions for men?
Okay, there's child support. There.
Well, I'm so
if
sorry.
a man
I'm
doesn't
so
want to
sorry. I'm
stay
so sorry. I can't. You're lagging out here. If you're on Wi-Fi, disconnect from Wi-Fi and connect to cellular. If you're on cellular, connect to Wi-Fi. Also, you're saying child support. I'm sorry, that's not a legal repercussion specifically for men. Child support applies to women. Child support applies to anybody who opts to not raise their own child. And child support applies to
Fair.
anybody who like makes a higher income in a split family. Okay, so
Okay,
this is not a legal repercussion for men. Listen, my point is I thought that you would tell us that the ultimate motivating reasons why you're pro-life is because you want to save the lives of kids, you know, the innocent little babies, the little fetuses. Well, see, the thing is if Kamala Harris was elected, there would be more innocent human lives that would have been saved. More innocent people that would have been alive today that are now dead because of Trump. So I'd actually argue that I'm pro-life and you're not pro-life because I actually wanted to vote for the candidate that would have saved more innocent human life.
Okay. Can you explain that a little deeper?
Yeah, The Lancet did a study on Donald Trump's cuts to USAID, which is global funding initiatives. They found that because of his cuts to the programs, There are going to be 14 million people who die over the course of the next 10 years globally because of it that would not have died if the programs were never defunded. Kamala Harris did not want to defund those programs, meaning if Kamala Harris was elected, there would be an additional around 4 million lives saved annually. Another point that I'd like to bring up here is that after Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, the amount of abortions in America only went up. And because I'm such a pro-life, want to save innocent human life, seemingly it's really important for women and girls to have access to abortion, because when they don't, they only get more. So because Kamala Harris would have saved more innocent human fetuses by not overturning Roe v. Wade, and because Kamala Harris would have saved more innocent human individuals like you or I by not defunding USAID, obviously we as pro-lifers should have supported Kamala Harris, because more innocent people would have been alive today that are now sentenced to death because of the Trump administration.
Okay, I do see that, and I don't know if it came across wrong. I'm not necessarily pro-life, nor am I MAGA completely, right?
Okay, so would you argue in retrospect that you should have voted for Kamala Harris because she would have saved more innocent human lives?
It's not necessarily that. I don't believe.
Then why are we even talking about abortion?
Well, okay, it's just because I think that there's somewhere in the middle that we can all agree on.
No, I'm asking you, why is abortion the reason why you support Trump as president, in consideration of the fact that because Trump is president, more innocent humans will die?
Okay. Oh, okay. So, okay.
I want a direct answer to that question. Why is abortion the reason why you support Trump as president, in consideration of the fact that more innocent humans will die because Trump is president?
That's a good point, and I can't answer that question fully for you.
Okay.
I don't want to say something that makes me sound stupid or anything.
You can't answer that question, so then let's move on to something else. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
If Biden called for the execution of Republicans in Congress with no good reason, do you think that anybody with common sense, a brain in their head, would have definitely stopped supporting Biden as president over that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so if Trump called for the execution of Democrats in Congress with no good reason, would you stop supporting Trump?
Yeah, I mean, I know that he has technically done that, yeah, and I don't agree with.
So you wouldn't stop supporting Trump?
It's not okay. I can't say that I do support him. I'm trying to find somewhere in the middle. Like I'm trying.
If the election was held tomorrow, would you vote for Trump or Harris?
No, I wouldn't vote for either. I probably would try to find okay. I'm more of a center. I would pick probably a middleman. It wouldn't matter.
Thanks for coming up, Ty. I highly recommend that you continue to watch the live stream. I think that it'd be great to put you further to the left, and I think that we could do that. But you kind of lied to me, bro. You said that you support Trump because of abortion, and then it turns out that you don't support Trump at all. Welcome in, Colt. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Colt, you're 5. You're 5 years old, Colt. You got to be at least 18 to be on TikTok Live. Let's go to get the next guest connected. We got PG connecting. Let's see here. Yo, Vanessa! Thank you so much for the $45 donation on Venmo. Give me one moment. I really appreciate you so much for that love, Vanessa. That is a shit ton of money. I'm very grateful for you. Let's get 500 Vanessa W's. Vanessa with the $45 says, nephew, you already know. It's good to see you today, Vanessa. All the love in the world to you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you. Matthew, thank you for the $25 who says love you. You know I love you too, Matthew. Thank you so much for that love and support. If you're watching the live stream and you want to donate, if you want to support me and support the stream, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio of my TikTok account. You could also find them in the pinned message on that YouTube stream, as well as the handles at the top of the phone screen on TikTok too. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in my last name, Withers. Do quadruple check the spelling of the handle though, because there's a bunch of fake scam accounts out there. PG, appreciate you for your patience. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yep.
How old are you?
18.
And why do you what year are you born in?
2008, June.
So you just turned 18.
Yep.
Okay. And what's your favorite Trump policy?
I love how he's trying to get rid of the abortion, because he's
Abortion. I'm going to steel man your argument. After Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, abortions only went up. So actually Trump caused there to be more abortions.
Can you show me where it says that?
Yes, Guttmacher Institute. Guttmacher Institute is a source, little bro. I'll show you, dude. Check this shit out. Dude. This is a grand revelation. Look at this. This is when Roe v. Wade was implemented. We had like 1.6 million abortions per year. It went down. And then when Donald Trump said that he was nominating justices to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade,
Yeah, but listen, I
it went
didn't
up,
say.
and then Roe v. Wade was actually overturned, then it went up even more. So Donald Trump caused there to be more abortions in America. How can you, as an anti-abortion, pro-lifer, support a president that caused there to be more abortions in America?
I said he's trying to. I
That
didn't
no,
say he
he's,
did get rid of
he's
it.
not trying to do anything beyond what he already did with overturning Roe v. Wade. That was the culmination of his anti-abortion legislation. He's done nothing since. Years have passed. The culmination of all of Trump's efforts as it relates to abortion was more abortions in America.
You know what? Just get rid of me, man. Kick me out.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Kick
yeah,
me
yeah.
out, bro.
Yeah. You're right. I am going to kick you out because I still demand your argument because I don't really want to go back and forth for like another hour and a half about abortion again. Sorry guys. Listen, sometimes I have the ability to like speed run counter arguments to what the guest has to say. But I just choose to like take the path where it draws it out and makes it a little bit more lengthy because there's a lot of value in like having like nuanced discussions about the reasons why they think abortion is wrong compared to just like a speed run steel man that's over and done with in like literally 2 seconds. But we've just had so many of those abortion conversations that I'm going to start speed running them with my strongest steel mans. Welcome in, AJ. Do you support Trump?
We are Charlie.
We got the next guest, Connor, loading up into the box. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. It is 3:26 p.m. Mountain. We maybe have like another 15 minutes. I'll shoot a text to my girlfriend and see where everybody is at. Maybe we might be able to even stay on a little bit longer based on the status update that she gives me. Let's go to get the next guest connected. All right. I just asked my girlfriend for a status update on the camping trip. So, Matt, thank you so much for the galaxy. You know, we might actually be able to stay on for 4 hours just depending on, you know, what the status update is, if everybody's like ready to go or like not. So we'll see. Let's go to get the next guest connected.
Hello?
Somebody named Melissa in the comment section says, so many people in here, you'll never see my comments. Melissa, I saw your comments. MAGA Patriot, do you support Trump?
Well, I think that's kind of obvious. So, yes, I support Trump.
Okay, are you a Christian?
Yes.
What race
Yes,
was
I'm a
Jesus?
Christian. What race was Jesus?
Yeah. More specifically, what was the color of his skin?
Well, that's very debatable. You can debate that through science or historical facts, but, I mean, we know he was Jewish.
So the science and the historical facts, what do they say? They say that he had brown olive type skin. This is not only backed up by the scripture, but also just by the historical facts of, you know, the
What does this
skin
have to do
tone
with
of people
Trump,
who
though?
come from the Levant region. So do you accept that Jesus was a brown man?
I mean, I wouldn't mind whether Jesus was white, brown.
I know, but do you
whatever.
accept that Jesus was a brown man?
Like, do I accept that as a fact?
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't care whether it was a fact or whether it was false. So, I mean,
Okay, but that's
also,
not what I asked
what does
you.
this have to do with Trump?
Well, don't worry. We'll get there. Don't worry. I didn't ask you if you would care to accept this as a fact. I'm asking you if you do accept this as a fact based upon the historical connotation of the color of the skin of people born in the Levant region, as well as descriptions found in the passage of the Bible, such as describing his skin as this olivey brown.
I mean, I haven't really read anything to counter that, so I mean, I could look into it, but I mean, for now, I guess. I mean, I really want to get to the Trump argument. I couldn't.
Yeah, you know the reason why I asked you that question?
Why?
Just because I happen to remember you based upon the tone of your voice. Remember the last time that you joined this live stream and called me a quote-unquote NJL, in which you then said stands for Hard R Jew Lover, and you made sure to specify all of those slurs real loud, right out loud? Do you remember that? Yeah, in fact, you even have a clip of it reposted on your page. The page that you were just up on. Wow. Wow, so why would you choose to send yourself to hell? Why would you choose to say, oh, Dean, you're an hard R lover. I'm going to scream slurs and disparage black and brown people. There are Jewish people in there too for I don't know, let's just do it. Meanwhile, you think the only perfect human who has ever lived that governs authority over all, including the salvation of your eternal life, was a brown man? Which is why I was asking you those questions. How stupid do you have to be? Let me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds here to describe to everybody watching this live stream how astronomically stupid he has to be. Because not only does he have to be so incredibly stupid to like be such a racist in the first place, we know that, but then to add on the level, because of my racism, I am self-banishing my eternal salvation to hell. Like, that's just unbelievable. It's like, how could a racist get even more stupid? I know, make him Christian. Declan, do you support Trump?
I'm a phenomenal.
Let's go to get that next guest loaded up inside of the queue. If you do want to support me, folks, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, the link tree, my bio, and TikTok. Put a message on the YouTube stream as well as the handles at the top of the phone screen and TikTok as well. Let's go to get that next guest, Bentley, connected. Here we go. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Dad.
How old are you?
16.
Alrighty. Did you ask your dad if he was down to debate already?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel free to throw him on.
I'm taking you to him right now. One sec.
That's fine. In the meantime, folks, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen. Shout out
Oh,
to
never
Live
mind. He
Republic.
said he doesn't want to debate now.
Alrighty. Hey, well, actually, listen, I appreciate you for asking him before and double checking with him before you passed in the phone. Sometimes people will come up and put their parents on the mics, but they'll just kind of ambush their parents, and I don't really like that. So thank you for doing that. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
Well, I am 35. I was born in March of 1991.
And
And
why do
I'm
you
also
support
with my fiance who is the same age, born in April of 1991.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Hey,
Um,
guys, take it away.
Hi. So I voted for him the past, I guess, 3 elections. But I was a Bernie Sanders supporter back in 2016. I know. I know. And so, but I feel like I kind of decided on Trump because he was like the underdog. And I did not like Hillary Clinton because of like the DNC emails.
Yeah, that never led to a successful indictment, never led to a day of jail time, and is
Yeah.
definitely preferable to Trump's rape case. I would prefer
Why
my
do you think
president.
that?
I would prefer my president to like destroy a computer than to rape a woman.
No, I agree. My opinions
So
and
if your
views on
claim is
Trump-
that you would never support Hillary Clinton because of the emails, why don't you say I would never support Trump because of the rape?
It's a good question. I will say that my opinions about Trump are changing kind of mostly about the Iran war and what's been going on with that. And I feel like he's kind of been compromised. And so looking into it more, I'm kind of like shifting a little bit, but I did vote for him and I still do support him. And I'm hoping that I don't have to look stupid at the end of all of this, if that makes sense. For supporting him.
You don't have to look stupid because you can change your mind. And that's why I run these live streams. So tell us, what do you think makes Trump a good president?
Well, can you ask me a more specific question?
Sure. What's
Sorry,
your
I'm, like,
favorite Trump
kind of-
policy?
Here, Jeff, sorry, I'm grabbing my fiance.
That's fine.
What is our favorite Trump policy? So my fiance is way more like, I'm a little bit more moderate where he's more conservative.
Okay.
And so what is your like favorite Trump policy?
Shrinking the federal government.
Yeah, I think we're more like economically supporters. I think that I like that he's a businessman. I feel like most politicians on both sides at this point are compromised. And I do believe that Trump has been compromised. However, I feel like we like his economic policies more than we like the
thanks for the
social
galaxy.
stuff.
Listen, I think that this is what could best be referred to as a big, beautiful lie. I don't blame you for thinking that he's good with the economy, because it's like, I've been paying attention to Trump for the last 10 years too. I mean, every single time he opens his mouth, he's always talking about how great he is for the economy. And every time a Trump supporter opens their mouth talking about Trump, they talk about how great he is for the economy. And then he was able to rail the Democrats with the negative economic outcomes from the pandemic under Biden, blaming it all on Biden. And then the Democrats said fucking nothing. Their messaging was terrible. So that explains why people think that he's so great for the economy. But it's not true. I mean, just look at where economy's at today compared to where it was at a year and a half ago when Biden left office. When Biden left office, we had all-time high levels of investment into your manufacturers. We had like a 50-year low level of unemployment. Inflation was going down, 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 down. GDP growth was going up, 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 up. Things were doing good. The average American was finally starting to feel better after the rebound from the pandemic. Now, today, a year and a half later under Trump, well, what have we seen since? Last year under Trump, most manufacturing bankruptcies in 15 years. Worst jobs report in 20, ignoring recessions. We added 181,000 jobs to the economy in an entire year, which was less than the rolling monthly average under Biden the year prior, where we added 2.2 million jobs in an entire year. The unemployment rate has only continued to increase, highest since the pandemic. Last year, we had the most layoffs in a year, 1.3 million since the pandemic. GDP growth has gone down. In fact, it was even negative the first quarter of last year. And we see that now inflation is up. Under Biden at the end, it was 3%. Today, it's now 4.3% under Trump. And we saw the largest monthly increase in the price of gas since Vietnam. I mean, the economy's a mess. It's because of Trump. It's because of his tariffs. Goldman Sachs did a study. They determined they charged Americans $92 billion in tax. The Supreme Court ruled them illegal. So in other words, Trump illegally taxed you $92 billion. And it's a mess. He's not good for the economy at all.
No, I do see that, but do you think that like AI or any of that has to play into it? Because I'm not a big fan of like blaming everything on just the president. However, I do understand he's an important figure. But do you think that there's a little bit more to play in why those numbers are happening and past decisions?
So I don't think that AI has anything to do with the bad job reports. The argument that it does is that because of these technological advancements in robotics and AI, companies are no longer as reliant on human labor because they could just suffice with these technological advancements. And that's why the unemployment rate is going up and the jobs report was so bad, right? Like that's what the argument would be?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you will learn this day one in any macroeconomics course. With technological advancements comes increases in productivity. Okay? With increases in the productivity of a company, that company is then making more money. The more productive a company is, the more money they make. So the thing is, companies are making less money. Corporate profits have only gone down. GDP growth has only slowed. So because there's less jobs and the economy as a whole is less productive, therefore we know the reason why there is less jobs is not because of technological advancements.
So I guess my question to you now is, so I believe like obviously as a collective, right? We need to work, and then the more people that work, we make the taxes that pay for things. I think my biggest issue actually with Trump, which has caused me to kind of look, because I like to look at things from a broader perspective. I'm a little bit more moderate. I feel like when we started the war with Iran, and I kind of looked into like all the money that we've been giving to Israel and all of that, like how do you feel about all of the taxpayer dollars that are going to like other countries and supporting the war? Like how do you feel about that?
Listen, I'm fine with taxpayer dollars funding humanitarian causes overseas, but supporting a genocidal ethno-expansionist state that is guilty of I don't know, maybe about 1 billion plus one war crimes and the ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinian people, plus the ethnic cleansing of Lebanon, is definitely not a humanitarian cause. We shouldn't be giving them a dime. I think that our president is an absolute sellout to Netanyahu, an absolute sellout to Israel. I don't think that this is new with the war in Iran. I think that he set this up a long long time ago, Obama got what was called the JCPOA. That was a denuclearization agreement with Iran that prevented them from building nuclear weapons. There was one country in the Middle East.
Sorry.
You feel free to throw him on.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to listen to me, a child, then I'll make him lose a debate to me, a child.
I think Obama made the world a lot more dangerous.
Well, no, okay. I will say this really quickly. So Obama set the deal that through 2028, right, we would give I think it was $3 billion per year to Israel, which thus supports the genocide in Palestine.
Democrats and Republicans are both pro-Israel. That's why we need to weed out the establishment. But the Republicans are much more pro-Israel than the Democrats. Donald Trump is the most pro-Israel president that we've ever had.
You're correct. I agree with that, and I've been seeing that. And but the thing is that Obama was the one who set up that deal. So can you tell me why you think he did that?
Obama was not the first president and not the last president to send money to Israel. Every single president in modern American history, with maybe an exception of JFK, has been a pro-Israeli Zionist since the conception of the state of Israel. Okay?
How do you feel about Zionism?
Zionism bad, because I believe in multicultural democracy. I do not believe in ethnic supremacy of a nation.
Okay. Well, I do agree with you on that. If you want to I feel like we kind of agree on a lot, but if you want to ask me like a different question or something you want to talk about, then I can put my fiance on because he's maybe a little bit more.
Well, yeah, but I'd actually like to talk to him. I'd like to get his biggest reason.
His name is Jeff, and again, he's 35, 1991.
Do you guys have kids?
I have a almost 13-year-old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's really smart.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dad too.
So Jeff, so you're also a Trump supporter, Jeff?
Yes.
Here, grab the phone.
Jeff, do you mind if I ask you a question? I mean, just learn that you had a kid, and that kind of raises a question in my head. Because like from my perspective, if I had a kid, especially like a daughter, like there's just no way that I could ever support somebody as president that would ever like do something to my daughter, or if they did something to my daughter, or somebody else's daughter. So I guess my question for you would be, if Donald Trump, I don't know, was a sexual predator, would you still support him as president?
Probably not.
Probably not. Can we agree that like men who would like covertly like force or barge their way into a woman's dressing room to like perv on the naked women changing without consent, like they're definitely sexual predators, right?
Yeah.
Uninvited, yeah.
Yeah, completely, 110%. That's terrible sexual predation. So
I would think in the past, maybe he was invited because he did own the pageant. It's
What's
not
that?
like Biden where he's kissing a 6-year-old on the lips.
Well, I've never seen Biden kiss a 6-year-old on the lips.
Oh,
so
it's a big
I was
deal.
actually setting up there to play a clip about Donald Trump admitting to barging into women's dressing rooms at the pageants that he owns. And your response was that it was okay because he owned the pageant?
I'm saying he might have been invited back then because he wasn't.
He might have. So we
Once
have
he's-
evidence that he wasn't.
once
The
he's
evidence that he
famous and
wasn't invited.
controversial.
I have a couple pieces of evidence that Trump was not invited into those dressing rooms. My first piece of evidence is that they were women's only dressing rooms. By default, men are not allowed in women's dressing rooms and are not invited in women's dressing rooms because A, there is an implicit understanding that there is a reasonable expectation of privacy away from men. The second line of evidence that I have for you is some of the dressing rooms that he barged into belong to minors at Miss Teen USA. Teens cannot consent to old men looking at their naked bodies, Jeff. And the third piece of evidence I'll give you is that in the clip, he did not say that he went in because the women invited him in. He said he'd went in because he was the owner and he had the right to allow himself in. And then my fourth and final piece of evidence is that the women and girls have said they did not invite him in. Tasha Dixon was Miss USA, Miss Arizona at Miss USA in 2001. Tasha Dixon said he'd just barge in and look at us while we were naked. Mariah Bellotto was a teen at Miss Teen USA in 1997. Mariah Bellotto said he'd just barge in and look at us naked and say, "Don't worry, ladies, I've seen it all before." So because of these four pieces of evidence, we definitely know he did this without consent, making him a sexual predator, making him somebody you wouldn't support as president, Jeff.
What? No. I mean, trannies are allowed in. Maybe identified as a female.
What did you just say?
I'm gonna step back
no,
in.
no. What did you? Wait, 1 second.
No, I'm gonna step back in.
I heard trains, but I would assume that because you were talking about dressing rooms and identification as a female, you probably said something else. So that is absolutely not okay. That is a slur against trans individuals. I understand that you and other Trump supporters are so fucking gross that any time somebody's able to successfully describe to you why Trump is a bad president, how he's a sexual predator, how the GOP is destroying this nation, how the policy of the right is leading to the downfall of the United States of America, you just start talking about trans people, and then all of a sudden it's just like the Red Scare of the 70s. But so I just want to clarify, in response to me proving to you that the president you support is a sexual predator, after getting you to agree to the fact that you would not support him if he was a sexual predator, you just slur trans individuals, disparaging millions of individuals who, frankly, have exactly nothing to do with the fact that Donald Trump barged into a woman's dressing room to look at them while they're naked.
So, Dean, I
Nothing
want
to
to
do with the
respond to
fact.
this, and I don't agree with using that word. No, it's not funny, but I don't agree with using that word. So I agree with
just
you.
look at
However, I would like
what your husband's doing. Your husband said that he would stop supporting Trump if he was a sexual predator. I give hard evidence that Trump is a sexual predator. Then in response, he just slurs trans people, laughs, and leaves.
But can
Where's the rationale in this?
Can I give it's what my life experience with my child was with why he probably said that, which he shouldn't have said that. But my son was using a public restroom, and he was backed into a corner and assaulted by someone.
I'm really sorry to hear that your son is assaulted.
And
what does
so,
this
like,
have to do with your husband disparaging trans people?
Well, the thing is that I think that one, there's a way to like use words, but I think earlier I remember you were speaking about how Trump was going into like women's dressing rooms and stuff like that. And I think that a lot of women, for example, feel like maybe unsafe in the same aspect, if that makes sense, because if a trans man or a trans woman comes into the bathroom, if a trans woman comes into the bathroom,
I will happily have a conversation with you about why trans women should be able to use a women's restroom once we're done with a conversation about how Donald Trump is a sexual predator.
Okay, but what if we can we ask about sexual I honestly I will tell you this. I've read through the Epstein files. I've been a hardcore like conspiracy theorist looking through all of the WikiLeaks everything since 2016 and the DNC files, everything, John Podesta, all of that. And I know about the deep state pedophilia, and I really wanted to believe that Trump wasn't part of that. Do I still believe that today? I don't, because I believe that at this point everyone is compromised.
Well,
because
what's the evidence that Kamala Harris was compromised? What's the evidence that Kamala Harris was a pedophile?
Do you want to know my truth? Okay, that's a good question. My truth about Kamala Harris is that I don't feel like she was fit to be president.
Okay, but do you have any evidence that she was a pedophile?
Well, I never said that.
Do you have any evidence that she was a sexual predator?
No.
Okay, so I asked your husband, would you still support Trump if he was a sexual predator? He said no. I proved Trump was a sexual predator, then he just disparaged trans people. Okay, then you pick up the conversation and you say, Dean, I actually agree with you. I cannot refute the evidence you provided that Donald Trump is a sexual predator, but still yet I'm supporting the lesser of two evils because everybody in the deep state is a compromised pedophile and a sexual predator. Well, then we go and we talk about the person who ran against Donald Trump and how there's no evidence that they were a sexual predator. So in other words, what you're telling me here is that you will take a sexual predator over a non-sexual predator, especially in consideration of the fact that non-sexual predator, in accordance with your conspiratorial beliefs about the quote-unquote deep state, would be like one of the first non-sexual predators to be governing this country in history.
Jordan, so here's a question for you. Kamala Harris, right? And you might not agree with this. However, there is evidence, a lot of evidence, if you actually look into it, that Joe Biden is a sexual predator and pedophile. Yeah. And Kamala Harris supported him as vice president.
Yeah, I don't think that there's evidence
it's
of that.
Okay, but like that's
what's
the
evidence of that? What's the evidence that Biden was a sexual predator?
So if you go online, if you go online, there's a lot of it. If you look at all the WikiLeaks, there's a lot of evidence. If you look at
Can you point me towards specific evidence? Like,
sure. So if
we've
you
like
pull
we've
up-
like watched like the compilations of like Biden taking pictures with like kids before, and I think the furthest that we've ever gotten after I spent like an hour on live talking to the same person trying to push the narrative that Biden
Yeah,
was
that
a
was
sexual predator
miserable.
is that there are scenarios where Biden has inappropriately touched children, but not sexually inappropriately touched children. Like, we're talking about Biden like keeping his hand on their shoulder for a little bit too long while he's taking a family photo with them all because he's just like this this grandpa who loves everybody. But there were no
what do we feel
scenarios
about,
of Biden
Tara Reid?
sexually inappropriately touching children.
But Tara Reid accused Joe Biden.
She did, and she's a liar.
So, yeah, but the thing is we have to understand that like people are gonna trust Trump. You're gonna trust Biden.
Well, I
but
could specify
bad.
the
Maybe
I could
they're
specify
both
I could
bad.
specify to you the reasons why Tara Reid is a liar, and she lied when she accused Biden of raping her. The evidence is that while she attempted to take it to court, and she was dropped by 3 of her attorneys because of lies and contradictions within her testimony. And then the prosecutors found that she had perjured herself in court. She had lied under oath in that courtroom. So then after having 3 of her lawyers drop her and her being found to have lied under oath in that courtroom, she dropped the case as a whole, fled to Russia, and joined an alt-right misinformation campaign.
But what if they're both bad? Like, what if they're all bad?
Well,
like,
what's the
that's my thing.
evidence?
I'm getting to is like I'm at the point where I feel like everyone is compromised and we're controlled by like the song like your government is run by pedophiles.
Let's not rot our brains. There's just no evidence.
Okay, well,
like,
ask me a more specific question, like maybe like just a more specific one.
Do you accept that Trump is a sexual predator?
Not proven.
It's not proven.
Okay, so you don't take the outcome of a court case to be proof, like when a unanimous jury of 9 determined that he raped a woman, and that finding was corroborated by the Supreme Court?
I believe that he is in fault because he supports people who have been convicted, and that's all that matters to me. So I don't support Trump to that extent.
Hi, welcome in,
and
Parker.
that's why I've changed my mind.
For everybody watching, yeah, hi. This is Claire. This is my friend Parker. He does what I do. He's gonna pick up our conversation real quick. I just quickly gotta go pee and ask my girlfriend about the camping trip that we're supposed to be going on.
You should, yes.
So, Parker, they're just denying that Trump is a sexual predator. She tried to argue that Biden was a sexual predator, but couldn't give any evidence for it. And their last statement was, "It's not proven that Trump is a sexual predator."
But can
So
we
Claire,
like ask it like a different question? I
Claire,
guess. Like,
Claire,
that would
one
be
thing I
like-
can tell you.
I'll be back.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Dean.
So, Claire, one thing I can tell you is that Donald Trump is defined legally as a violent sex offender. He was held civilly liable of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will, unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people. So, whether or not you agree with the determination from the case, he is a violent sex offender. Based upon that argument, your husband said that he wouldn't support Donald Trump. Would you agree with that?
He's not a registered sex offender.
He's not a well. Okay, so here's the thing.
I can
is
tell. I just
that
told you what he was.
I
It was a civil
agree.
case.
I agree that Trump is compromised and he's gotten himself into that situation. He's done things. And so I don't agree with that. I don't actually support either side basically at this point. I think they're all pedophiles and they're all involved in the Epstein files. And it's very rare to find.
Wait, I'm sorry.
good
What evidence do you
politicians.
have that Kamala Harris is involved in the Epstein files?
Well, I actually have never even brought up Kamala Harris ever.
When you said all candidates, that's what your position was. That was the last
Well,
Democratic
I just
candidate.
I just don't think she was qualified. I never said she was a pedophile, but she also
Well,
supported
you said all candidates
pedophilia.
were. So so would you rather someone who's unqualified or a violent sex offender?
It's a good question.
Because I think she was
Neither.
qualified, way more qualified than Trump.
Neither.
But let's assume that she was unqualified, like you're saying. You would still prefer a violent sex. You would not prefer a violent sex offender over someone who's unqualified, right? Obviously, the unqualified person is more qualified than the violent sex offender because the violent sex offender, that's disqualifying, right? And being unqualified is preferable to that.
Well, I understand like what I think that what you're saying is a good argument. I just wish that we could talk about like a different topic, I guess, because I like, I mean, if this is the case, then yes, I do agree. I don't support anyone really in politics right now at this point. Like, I'm kind of like a Tucker Carlson girl.
By the
like
way, I
a
just want to let you know,
a Candace Owens girl.
Like final comments from each side. I gotta go.
Hey, go camping, Dean. Go with your girlfriend and go see nature. Go look at the sky and see God and all that the gifts he gives us. And
would you like to join Parker's stream?
Sure. I don't know
Okay.
how to do that though. This is the first time I've ever done this.
Yeah, I'll tell you because I'm gonna tell everybody how to do that quickly before we send that right over to him. Jay, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Says, I know that you hear this from me all the time. Once again, thank you for calling out predators and not backing down. I will never back down, Jay. Thank you for the $15. Same thing to Janaya. That is GJENAYA. Thank you for the $50. Who says, just eternally grateful for the work that you're doing. Well, thank you so much for that love and support, Janaya. You are unbelievably kind. Thank you very much. Same thing to Stephanie. Thank you for the $38. Who says, watching while I work out because the stupidity fuels me. Dude, I listen to debate streams when I work out too. Super fucking based. Anna with the $10 says, what are your thoughts on the two-party system? Fuck the two-party system. I just think it creates like a unnecessary duopoly and like this tribalistic system that pushes people to hold political beliefs, not because of rationale, but because of like tribalistic bias. Seconds, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat. Who says, this is sad. She literally can't think for herself. I appreciate you for the $20. That is very, very kind of you. Over on PayPal, Clayton, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Clayton. Natalie, thank you for the $5. Anna, thank you for the $5. And then Carly with the $10 says, thank you for your videos. Well, thank you so much for the love and support. Victoria, thank you for the $10. And Melody, thank you for the $10 as well. With all that being said, I think that we're caught up. Parker, you ready to go live? You are muted. We cannot hear you.
Yes, I am. I'll hop on right now. All right, I'll
Perfect.
see you. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, man. Yo, JJ, thank you so much for the Stormblade. Holy, what is going on? What the fuck? JJ, I really appreciate you for the Stormblade. What a way to end this stream. That is legitimately so cool. Thank you so much, JJ. Show some love to JJ while we're on our way out. Listen, if you enjoyed the debates today, everybody, this is totally free to do. Make sure to hit that follow button on TikTok. Drop us up on YouTube. We do these debate streams every single day for around 4 hours. But the debates are not over for the day. I'm just done. My friend Parker will be continuing to do these debates. For everybody who wants to join Parker's stream, including you, Claire, this is how you could do that. His TikTok handle is @ParkerGetAJob. His YouTube handle is @ParkerGetAJob. Head over to his stream. Show him some love. Show him some support. And Claire, if you want to debate Parker, I'm sure that he'd love to have you up as his first guest. Just join the queue on @ParkerGetAJob. That's his TikTok account handle. The same way you did here. Thanks for coming up, okay?
Thank you, Dean. Have fun camping and tell your girlfriend I said hi. I'm sure she's wonderful.
That's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to go ahead and end the stream here. Going to go camping. Peace, love, good evening, and goodbye.